with Cancer Jason. Let's go live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
All right. So we are gonna go live. Ready, everyone? All right. Welcome everyone to Wasted with Wize, episode 33. Bring them out. I did not have the sound clip because I guess T.I., the guy who made the rap song, probably copyrighted that shit. So there you go. Couldn't find that damn song anyways. But anyways, how is everyone doing this evening? And yeah, we are expecting a full panel, and we are expecting the infamous Newf. He said he will be coming in a little bit later because he has work obligations. So yep,
excited.
We are going to be.
Cozy's been spending too much time with her fucking bird. That's what she looks like right now.
Well,
thank you, Cozy. Good to see you.
Well, better her bird than her chipmunk, right? So.
What's wrong with chipmunks?
What? Yeah.
Oh, okay. You don't know the joke. Okay. Oh, well,
everyone's favorite little ground squirrel.
All right. Yeah. So ground rat or like. I saw a meme the other day. It was like a rat talking to a chipmunk. And he asked him, "Okay, who is your spokesperson? Who is your advertisement guy? Because I need to get a hold of them." So it was kind of funny.
You know, it's weird when you look at animals that have good PR, like hippos.
Yeah.
Dolphins, killer whales.
Yeah, but dolphins are good. Orcas,
Dolphins are assholes. Porpoises and dolphins are assholes. From anyone who's seen them a lot, like
specifically bottlenose dolphins.
Yeah,
no, you fucking take it back. Echo's a saint, and I will not hear anything otherwise.
No, the funniest was the guy. The funniest was the guy who wrote the book Jaws, and they made that into a movie. And then after Jaws came out and Jaws 2 and all that, and became a huge success in the late 70s, early 80s, everyone started killing sharks with impunity. And the Japanese were happy, and the Chinese were happy. They were drinking their shark fin soup, so more shark fin soup for them for the cheap, right? But basically those poor animals got basically hunted into almost near extinction, and then
they don't. Great whites keep to themselves for the most part. They really do.
And then people were like looking at killing it.
That are nasty.
You tell that to Quinn.
Well, the funny thing was the scientists came out and said, killing the apex predator on the food chain may not be a good fucking idea. So I was like, no shit, And then they got the guy who wrote the book coming out and saying, I'm for shark rights and sharks preservation, and we need to save the species. I'm like, it's because of your fucking book that the sharks were hunted to extinction to begin with.
He feels bad about that. He feels bad.
So.
Why does he get all the heat and not Spielberg? Like Spielberg's the one that made fucking people scared of goddamn sharks.
And nobody read the book. Everybody saw the movie. They're like,
what's wild? That movie. I'm be honest. I didn't really enjoy Jaws that much. I thought it was boring and not scary because I was confused. Why are people afraid of this? Just stay out of the water. I didn't even like non-pool water as a child. You could not get me to get into any body of water.
Quinn wasn't in the water. He was on the boat, and Jaws was like, "Oh, now your boat is mine."
That's stupid. I've been on many boats, and I never had a shark attack me.
No, in one of the fucking movies, he actually sailed into their variation. They had this one movie where everything was based into this little water theme park, kind of like SeaWorld, and the fucking shark got into the sea.
It was SeaWorld. It legit was SeaWorld.
Yeah. And he got into SeaWorld. I'm like, what the fuck? That ain't gonna be.
Yeah, that was Jaws 3D.
Mm-hmm.
Was it actually in 3D?
But it was like red and blue glasses 3D. So shit 3D.
That's cool.
Yeah.
No,
it was back in the 70s where it was just gimmicky shit. It was just here's this one thing spinning in front of everything else.
As if modern 3D isn't exactly like that.
No, modern 3D is actual. You can actually see depth to everything versus the one gimmicky item that's sticking out. Well, it depends on who's doing it because you got your Piranha 3D, which is gimmicky, old school shit. But your avatars and shit like that, where it's 3D, that's actually you can see the depth in the scene. Different.
Yeah, and have a raging headache after too.
My son said it best though. My elder, we watched this movie with Ice Cube called Anaconda, and this big.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, who didn't?
Anyway, that movie was fucking hilarious, and I was laughing my way through it. My son is looking at it, And he's like, "What's so funny about these? These things are being eaten." I said, "Well, first of all, the special effects are horrible, and second of
Yeah,
all, this
dog
big
shit.
ass snake coming out of the water eating everything. How realistic is that?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, like Jaws is." I'm like, "Well, you know what? You're kind
It
of
was
right."
more realistic than John Voight's accent in that movie. I'll tell you that.
Oh, Lord.
Oh man, I miss those
Dr.
campy old, those campy horror movies or those campy movies.
I
Oh,
Yeah.
dude,
feel like-
I have a soft spot in my heart for shitty B-rated horror movies. Dude, name it. I'll fucking watch it. I don't care. I
Oh,
love like,
that's something
Mystery
that
Science
streaming
Theater
killed.
fucking all day.
That's
Yeah,
something that
streaming killed that shit, you know?
Streaming killed good bad movies. Now they're just
Exactly.
bad.
Yeah,
Like, you're not
Red
gonna get
Media
another-
makes a whole
you-
cottage industry out of showing that stuff off.
Yeah, I mean, but like, when are we ever gonna get like a fucking another Snakes on a Plane? I mean, I'm sorry, we needed a sequel to Snakes on a Plane, like Snakes on a Train or some shit like that. I mean, come on. I'm tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking
Well, I mean,
plane.
nowadays it's more scary just being on the plane without the snakes because the door's gonna
Exactly.
fucking fly off or a landing gear is gonna fucking snap off. Fucking
Yeah,
Boeing.
it's like you look at the plane that you're boarding and you're like, oh shit, this motherfucker's being made by Boeing. I'm fucked. You know?
Right.
So, yeah. Well, let me go ahead before I get started. Let me say hello to RPG88 in the chat. Welcome, sir, and welcome as always. And thank you for supporting us from day one. We need to get you on the show one night. Just to put
That's
a face
possible,
to
just
the
a
name
visit.
and everything like that. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Tell us when you're available. By the way. Anyways, let me get started with my introductions because it's going to take me a fucking hour and a half to get through it, and maybe Newf will be in by then. My first panelist, Supernova. How was your week? What you been doing and what you been playing?
It's been good. I've been playing Rise of the Ronin, and it's making my Ronin rise.
Oh,
Okay.
Thank you for sharing.
You didn't play the Dragon's Dogma 2 thing?
No,
He
I
had to
put
save
that one on
money.
hold because no, it's not that. It's the performance is kind of so hopefully by the time I get around to it, there'll be some performance patches. Plus, I'm no lifing Rise, and then once Rise is done, I'll hop into that.
No,
There you
your ass is waiting for the PS5 Pro to run that shit, aren't you?
Oh,
No, I mean I'll be there day one for that, but no, it's not why.
I had Microsoft reward points and I PlayStation Stars point, basically the same thing, right? So I was going to get a $20 discount either way on that game, irrespective of the platform I was going to buy it on. And I was thinking, okay, like, where do I buy it? Do I buy it on the PlayStation or buy it on the Xbox? And I'm like, well, shit, this thing, from what I've read and from what I've heard, it runs like dog shit on every console except for high-end PCs. And I'm like, well, okay, well, shit. Okay, well, I guess I'll get the PlayStation one because they're at least coming out with a upgrade or something by the end of the year. If it was for Xbox, I might have to wait until 2026 to play the game. So yeah, that's what I thought. So that's why I bought it for PlayStation. But I have not downloaded it either because I've heard that there's a lot of rife issues and stuff, and that's okay because I've been I was gonna finish Final Fantasy Rebirth, but this week was kind of busy because I was watching a lot of movies. I watched what was that movie called? The Millie Bobby Brown one, Damsel, I think.
Oh
with
yeah,
the-
that wasn't too bad.
Oh, shit, what are you talking? Yeah, well, okay. It wasn't bad, but the SJW stuff was a kind of a slap in the face. It was like
It was far less preachy than I expected it to be. She also wasn't a Mary Sue. She got her ass beat
yeah.
and struggled.
I mean, I know why they sort of did that because there's a whole lot of pedophiles like, oh my God, I want to see Millie Bobby Brown suffer. But yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, I mean, she's an
isn't she
adult now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's an adult now.
Well,
So it doesn't
yeah.
Yeah,
matter.
so now I can go back and masturbate to fucking Stranger Things like I wanted to, knowing damn well that she's an adult.
Whoa.
That's a creepy.
Wait, did we not just establish that she's an adult now?
Yeah,
She's she's an adult now. It's like
She wasn't one when she would play in Stranger Things 1 and 2 and 3
You
and
fucking dream stabbing
Whoa.
motherfuckers.
the opinions
No, but I
expressed
mean,
by our
it-
panelists are not the opinions shared by the other members
Is
in this
it-
chat.
No, definitely not.
Anything spoken while the little white shit comes out of the purple circle has nothing to do with the rest of the
I
show.
know you, dude.
No, I didn't think it was too bad, and I honestly, because I hate SJW shit in movies and woke shit, I didn't think it was too bad. It also, like I said, it wasn't preachy. It didn't talk down to men, and not it wasn't like, oh, men are horrible, men suck, men are stupid. The fucking most evil person in the movie was a fucking other woman. So
Yeah, that's true. That's
I
true.
don't know, just
Robin Wright, because that woman plays that bitch role really well. I
Jenny.
think. I'm sorry to say that woman, like, I fucking started hating her in Forrest Gump and hated her all the way through. But basically,
Forrest Gump because
she
you
treated
can't
that poor man
understand.
like shit.
yeah, I mean, come on now.
She avoided him. She was avoiding him, and he was chasing her.
She was
and
avoiding him.
then she was like, "Oh,
Then she got
I'm dying
AIDS,
of
came back.
cancer. Come love me, Forrest. No one else will love me, but Forrest will still love me. Come, Forrest. I'm gonna die in a week."
Yeah, I'm gonna die in a week. Oh, by the way, you know that one time you fucked me? There's your kid. And yeah, I'm gonna be dead in a week. You might want to go get checked to see if you don't have anything either.
Bro, that was a 60. She gave him herp alert for sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, he was probably too stupid or retarded, too stupid to understand what he had. He just knew he was itching in the groin. He was like, I don't know why, but I'm itching down here. So
he didn't have to piss. He didn't have to just piss during that JFK interview. He had to fucking clap, bro. He couldn't control himself.
pee.
Wildness.
I gotta pee. No.
My privates are burning.
Cerebral, to catch you up. What we did was I was talking about why
I don't even care.
Oh, like keep me out of this.
completely.
Paul's like, I don't care what you deviants were discussing. Move it along.
No, he walked in. He walked in on the public service announcement.
I left Dragon's Dogma 2 stream for this. Right.
No, I was talking about why I didn't get a chance to download it. I mean, I bought both games. I've not played anything because I've not finished Rebirth. And the reason I didn't finish Rebirth because this week I was watching a lot of movies. I watched. We talked about Damsel and with Millie Bobby Brown, and we were talking about how Robin Wright plays that bitch role really well. And I've been hating her since Forrest Gump, and that's pretty much the rest of the story.
I watched the new Roadhouse. It's on Amazon Prime.
Any good?
Was it good?
No.
Okay, you say
it's far less a remake and far more a reimagining, and like none of the characters are even close to the same. None of their.
It's not meant to be. It wasn't meant to be the same at all.
No, it wasn't. I
got crabs.
It's a different kind of ride. It's not the fun, cheesy thing that the first Roadhouse was.
There's plenty of cheese in the new Roadhouse. It's just none of the motivations for anybody are even remotely the same.
Did he say the line? Pain don't hurt. Pain don't hurt. Pain don't hurt.
No, all he said was nobody wants to fight. I think that's the only shared line from the first movie is nobody really wants to fight. No, it's.
Oh, they left out my favorite part is actually when he's breaking down, be nice until it's time to not be
telling
nice.
everybody to be nice.
Was there a scene where he was penetrating the shit out of a woman up against the wall?
No, he just made out with some freaking chick on like a little sandbar. That's it. That's all he did.
No, that girl, that woman, that doctor, she was hot as fuck.
In the first one,
that doctor was hot as fuck, and he just pretty much rammed her right up against it.
Oh, dude, settle down, man. Jeez. What are you doing?
Dalton's also like a psychopathic killer in this one. Like he killed one person in the original, and it's because he kind of had to. He ripped that motherfucker's throat out, Mortal Kombat style. But in this one, he's just like indiscriminately killing people just because he got angry. No, dude, he kills someone for no reason other than they made him mad. And they hurt some people that he cared about.
Was it made by the same person who made the new Superman movies too?
No. Hey,
yeah,
man, he had no choice, bro.
Yeah, Superman had to do that, man.
And he was clearly distraught after doing it. Like he screamed out in pain after doing it. Dalton fucking punches this dude in the throat in this one. And it's like, oh, by the way, I broke your fucking hyalinx bone in your throat. You can't breathe now. Then proceeds to kick him in a pool. He fucking he kills him for no reson. I mean, there's a reason, but it's not like a good reason. Like he was an asshole, but
seriously. I have no problem with that, So
No problem.
You mean to tell me he hit the guy, he broke a part of his body, then he anatomically described what he broke and what he could no longer do, and then proceeded to throw him.
He does that a lot in this movie. The guy's got a gun. He's like, "Oh, I'm not scared of your gun in your waistband. All I gotta do is break your finger and your fucking index finger, and you can't hold or shoot your gun." and then proceeds to do it. It's like, why are you telling the dude what? I don't know, man. But what? If you give it a watch, it's free on Amazon Prime. But I thought it sucked.
Well, speaking of B movies that were good, I watched Wonka. Wonka was pretty good.
Hey, yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah,
Wasn't bad.
anyone catch it? It's
Oh
on.
my God, something that
Max.
something that he actually likes. Usually, he just complains about everything the whole show. I
Eh?
mean,
Which one are we talking about now, Paul? Jesus Christ! I
Yes.
No,
Guess.
actually,
Guess. I'll
I'm
leave
guessing
it to
Ellis
you.
towards me.
I'll leave it to you to. No,
I'll give you a
That's-
clue. It rhymes with Nupa. So there.
I'm sorry. I'm just having fun with you, dude. Don't worry about it. I'm just.
Oh,
Oh, God,
shit.
I don't care.
Good.
But no,
You
it wasn't that bad at all.
I would say he was pulling your leg, but there's nothing to pull. So
I mean,
Well,
I'm
he-
two
no,
for
no,
two today. I
it's-
said
it's
Damsel
there.
wasn't bad and Wonka wasn't
Yeah.
bad.
I mean, it's not that there's nothing to pull. He just wouldn't notice.
Yeah.
He just oh yeah, we're never getting fucking monetized.
I
Hey,
mean,
me and Paul can say whatever the fuck we want about the disabled. God damn it,
that's right.
we've earned our stripes.
You fucking-
And your stripes, your drugs, your IV pain meds, all right, all of it, you've earned it, right?
We got it the hard way.
You got that little depressor button. More morphine, goddamn it! More morphine, goddamn it! This button ain't working.
But told you for the last time, sir. You got 3 hours between presses.
It's like you're pressing the button. My Xbox, my PlayStation ain't my PlayStation ain't responding. Yeah, you just jacked yourself up with morphine. So-
Okay, so you watched some movies.
Oh,
And you played the new game. You played that.
No, and then what fucked me over for the rest of the week? I watched that Quiet on the Set or Silence on the Set or whatever.
I
with
wouldn't.
the-
I almost don't want to watch that. I don't need to be that depressed.
I honestly never even heard of that one. So
Wait, what?
Quiet on the
The-
Set. That's the whole thing
the-
with
the
Dan
Nickelodeon-
Oh,
Schneider
no, I'm
and
not
all
watching
that.
that.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
That thing will fuck your day
new?
up,
'Cause I didn't watch that, but I've
Hmm.
seen another documentary about that guy on YouTube like a year
Yeah.
ago. I don't know if it's the same
Yeah, the
one
thing
or
with
not.
Dan
No,
Aykroyd,
it's a-
as you call
it's
it.
a-
Didn't you call it Dan Aykroyd?
It was
Yeah,
him.
Dan Aykroyd.
He didn't call no, that was Cali Rex.
I was
Cali
like-
Rex got that mixed up. Yeah, he was like,
Yeah,
Somebody
somebody said
stands
Dan
out of this,
Aykroyd, everyone
goddammit.
went ballistic. Like we DM'd Callie put on the DMs. It was Dan Aykroyd, and I think you practiced. What the fuck did Dan Aykroyd do? Leave Dan Aykroyd.
no, I didn't say that. That was
Who
No,
was
he
it?
didn't.
Was it you, Supa, who said that?
Yeah, that was me. I said leave. I said leave Reese Stance out of this.
And I was like, God damn
No, but
right.
that shit is about as toxic to your brain as Dahmer was. Like you watch
But listen,
Dahmer,
bro,
and you're like what the
everyone
fuck? I just
wants to blame that man, dude. But fucking blame
Those
the parents. This man held pool parties for the young talent, where the parents just dropped him off and like, all right, Stevie, I'll see you in 3
I'd be like,
hours."
why do you want my kid so much? Why do you want so
Right?
much time with my kid? Like, I don't need kids, but I'd be like, why are you spending so much time around children? And you're not a
Especially, like,
teacher.
It's not a school function, right? Like this is Hollywood we're talking about. It's like just it being Hollywood to begin with should already have you being like,
Facts.
how about no?
Well,
Yeah,
no,
stay
but
with
see, okay, but wait. See, this was back in the late '90s, early 2000s. So it was even before all of that was such a. Yeah, now it's a known thing, but you know.
Paul, the casting couch has been a thing far before the '90s was around.
But no. I'm not talking. I'm just talking about the,
the Nickelodeon thing you're saying.
The
Parents also
Nickelodeon thing,
pimping
yeah.
out their kids
yeah.
has
Yeah,
been a
well,
thing.
Well, no, that's
Yeah.
been a thing for a long fucking time. I mean, oh my god.
Yeah,
dude.
just
you
like,
said-
just like a
So
lot
all
of
of
these,
our
a lot
fault.
of these moms that take their daughters to these beauty pageants and basically have their daughters like they're just little made up whores, and they're pushing them to win these beauty pageants for prize money. And it's like your daughter is a little certified whore right now, but congratulations, you're going to win that $2,000 grand prize.
They make them up like
Maybe.
them, but they don't tell them to be them. But they do tell them to do things they shouldn't be doing. That's for sure.
Well,
I was gonna
no,
say, I
it's
was
not
like the whole
only
Corey
that,
Corey
but
Feldman thing, because that's when it started becoming like people expressing issues with it, and he was one of the few that was speaking out about the industry, and a lot of people started coming out and saying, yeah, that was all happening.
Yeah,
So
Corey
it's pretty
Haim
too-
went through some shit.
Well,
I mean,
Corey
like,
Haim's
if you think
dead.
about it,
He
right?
died he died in 2010. He
Yeah.
OD'd, and he OD'd because of Corey Feldman, his buddy, the guy that played Mouth on
Yeah.
Goonies. He said that he had gotten deep into drugs because of all the sexual abuse that he had encountered and had to deal with as a child actor.
Mhm.
And Corey Feldman said he had to deal with that as well. It's pretty terrible stuff, man. These kids that
No,
they
it
were
is.
not just not protected, that they were trafficked. It's
Well-
horrible.
Well, what
and
people
for,
don't.
for what? Like for what? For money? For
Yeah,
popularity? Fame?
that's
It's
all
like-
it is
They were
money.
just to keep jobs, to get roles. They would and then they would just be used by directors, by producers, by writers. They were just
Mhm.
used by people, like actors, other actors. I mean,
yeah.
look at
Yeah,
what's his name?
the Charlie Sheen was talked about in relation to Haim.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, and then Kevin Spacey, the stuff that happened with him, oh yeah, dude, there's been terrible things going on.
Well,
so-
as somebody who actually works with kids on a day-to-day basis, I can tell
I
you
thought you
that
were going to say someone that was a
Oh, dear
sexual
God.
no, like,
Yeah.
and I'm being dead serious here. Like their
I think it's
mentality,
I've
like
been to
they,
Amsterdam myself. I'm sorry.
I mean, even like if you're talking about like 9th graders, 10th graders, 11th graders, even 12th graders, right?
They're stupid.
What people think
Kids are
is they look at these kids and they treat these kids because they look a certain way, because they're bigger or whatever. They treat these kids as adults, but their brains are still in that kid mentality.
developmental. Yeah.
Yeah, so like, and it makes sense, right? Back in the day, and this is what I messaged all y'all. Back in the day, the only way you really got success was through these like TV ads, advertisements, whatever, right? And like, think about it. If you are like a 12 or 13-year-old, let's just say 13, let's even say 15-year-old. Now you're a celebrity. Your parents are relying on you to make an income, and you're getting older, so you're no longer, as the days to go to years, you are basically aging out of the key time frame that Disney wants or Nickelodeon wants. And you're doing everything in your power to stay relevant, and then you eventually lose that relevancy. And and you got all this money, you got all this stardom, and then it leaves you, and then God knows what else you had to do to keep that celebrity status, like with all this shit that was going on. That fucks with your brain. But that was back in the day.
We've seen child actors so many times grow up fucked
break
up
and
or
go into drugs.
go into drugs, or then they go through the thing where the child roles they used to play were, oh, I'm a goody child, and then now they've turned into adults and no one wants to cast them as anything because they were the child, goody. So now they start doing this crazy shit because they don't want to be seen as the fucking girl that was in that fucking kid show. So
Right.
they start acting out and doing shit to be seen a different way because they don't like. It's just all in general. It's terrible to be a child actor, I would say.
And then
Oh,
on
yeah,
top of that,
yeah.
but then think about it, that back in the day, it was hard. You had to either get successful via movies or TV or music or whatever, right? Like, what was that? Rebecca Black, who made that song, that god awful song Friday, right?
I'm gonna kill myself now, but thanks.
But now it's a lot easier to get that level of notoriety, right? Because of
Social media.
TikTok and all the social medias out there. So now you got a lot more of that shit going on. So it doesn't surprise me that this generation of kids are all fucking that, because it's like either they are there and getting fucked over because of all that celebrity status that's fucking with their brain, or they're trying to get there and they're not, and then they think that this is what they need to, subscribe to, and yeah, it's. And then there's people out there that are predators, and there's predators all the fucking time. There's fucking predators on Fortnite and shit. It's crazy, dude.
Did you say you watched that documentary? Or you were thinking about watching it?
No, I watched it. That's why I couldn't play any games. I was like, that game, like that. Me and my wife watched the whole documentary, and we were like, my wife is like, yeah, we got to be careful what we pick, because that first Dahmer, now this shit, we can't, like, we couldn't even think straight. Like, we're like, fuck this. And
I like Dahmer. I mean, I didn't like it. You know what I mean? It was I found it.
It was an interesting show.
It was.
You're talking about the Evan Peters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Show you're talking about? Yeah,
Oh,
it was good. It was like a show on Netflix.
you were saying, Cerebral?
I mean, I just thought it was. Yeah, it was uncomfortable to see what he was actually able to get away with the people around him. You
Mhm.
know. It
But
was
I mean,
just holy crap.
but you
It's
think
a
about it,
different-
like
yeah.
you,
He
that
was
you
able to
start
do things that
reflecting on
people
that shit,
think
and you're
about.
like, what the fuck is this world coming to?
Well,
You know?
well, there was another thing. There was an innocence when a lot of these people were pulling the insane things they were doing off.
Yeah.
They were able to get people to
Yeah,
come along
that
and
was
do
my
things.
point. That was my point.
Yeah.
It's because we're finding about these things that people are watching more closely.
Oh
It's-
God, yeah. Oh yeah.
Mhm. Well, that's what people say. Oh, this shit didn't happen back in my day.
Oh,
no,
yeah, it
they
did. Yeah,
didn't.
it
This
did.
shit
Yeah, it
happened. They
did.
just
Oh
kept
my
God,
quiet about it.
This shit has been happening since the beginning of time. It's a
Well,
never-ending
that's
cycle
like
of shit.
when there's always there's that group on Xbox, or not Xbox, but on Twitter that's always like, oh, things weren't this bad. There weren't this many shootings. There weren't this. I'm like,
Well,
no,
the
wait. Let me
level-
finish. Let me finish my thought.
Oh.
The idea is, though, when things used to happen back on the East Coast, unless it was really big, we didn't hear about that shit in California.
Mhm.
It's saying, so if it was out of your area, now with the internet, every little thing is all over the place, and it's 24/7.
That's
Used
the
to be
thing.
that if there was a quote mass murder, or if there was somebody like what's his name, the original serial killer from the
You're
World's
thinking of-
Fair, in Chicago, the White City, that whole
Oh,
thing.
what was it?
You mean Ted?
Um,
No, Ted Bundy.
No, he was that Ted
Zodiac?
Bundy was the
No, it was New
no.
York.
No, there's a thing, and I know it's not Ed Gein either. I can't think of his name right now.
It wasn't Gacy either, was it?
No, Gacy was the clown.
Yes,
Mhm.
wow.
Yeah.
No,
Casey.
this was the guy who had a murder hotel. They actually one of the Telltale games they recently put out, or
was
not the
based on
Telltale.
him. Oh.
Yeah, it was based on the. He actually had a hotel built with secret corridors and
Oh,
and
wonderful.
soundproof rooms, and would poison people,
Jeez.
and
That's
you know,
nice.
Man's a
considered-
genius.
he's considered America's first serial killer.
Hmm.
But it would have been days or weeks before that news got to the other coast.
Right.
Because of now, if anything like that is found out, boom, about it because it's the first thing you see when you turn on the internet.
Bates.
Also, the 24-hour news cycle, they are going to cover
Right.
that story 30, 40, 50 times a fucking day because there's nothing else to talk
Right.
about.
Right.
Yep.
Well, I don't know.
But that's
That-
the difference. It's not that the stuff didn't happen and it wasn't. It's no worse today than it was then, in a sense. But the difference is we didn't always hear about it.
yeah.
If
There have been
there-
psycho motherfuckers
yeah.
since the beginning of time.
Right. If there were 6 missing children in Wisconsin, again, probably wouldn't hear about it in California. It just, back then it was, hey, we got our own shit to worry about. It's like-
Well, as a parent, it's really hard these days to sort of like even trust anything these days, because it's like you see all this shit and you're like, yeah. So I remember this was ages ago, like almost a decade ago. My younger was like 5 at the time, and they had in the mall here, they had a agency that like was looking for like people to like kids so they can.
oh yeah, they used
promote-
to do that a lot, and it was.
And my kid
yes.
wanted to do it. He wanted like little glamour shots and everything. My wife was adamant about it, like no fucking way. And I was like, well, no, if he wants to do it, go ahead, do it. I mean, and you know what? Hindsight being 2020, she was right. And I hate saying that, but she's not watching this, so she could say that. But yeah, I was like, but it's scary. I mean, like, I was thinking about when I was a kid, like I had a lot more freedoms because it wasn't all out. Now, like we have to sort of almost sequester our kids or watch them like a hawk and be blamed as being helicopter parents because we might be overprotective. But like you can't. It's kind of hard to see all this shit and then just turn a blind eye to all of it. That's all I gotta say. I mean, it's just I don't know, and it fucks with you as a parent. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I wish I didn't watch it. I wish I should have watched. I needed to watch it, but I wish I didn't see it. It was dude, Drake and Josh. Like, come on now, come on. And he, oh, man, I don't know. Anyhow, if you need to watch, it fucked with me. I mean, maybe because I'm a parent and it just really hit like me front and center.
Yeah, as a parent, it can mess with you pretty bad.
Right. You know, it's like it could have my kid could have been a victim. Like we were really close to saying, okay, go ahead and do go do glamour.
Now
shop or
wait,
whatever.
let's get it right. Everybody that does stuff like that doesn't necessarily become victims. Okay, it's a,
No.
you know.
No,
Well,
I
only
mean, I'm not
humans.
saying that, but like still, I mean, you know, there's a possibility. And like when Drake's dad made him like that, he like made him do these movies, and he was doing it because he wanted to sort of do something his, you know, basically foster his son's interest. And he didn't know that. Well, he actually did know, but he was sort of voted out. Like in the show, Drake's there was this acting coach that abused Drake, and he basically got between him and his dad and said, you know, you need to cut ties with your dad as the manager. And and that's what pretty much started it. Well, once his dad was out of the picture, that's when things started getting really going down a dark spiral. And yeah, I don't know. It's just I can't. I mean, it's bad. I mean, I guess it's good to get it out in the open and, you know, see all of this shit because people need to know about this shit going on, but still. Anyhow, Praxis, how's your week been going and what you been playing? We're still
Good Lord. It was going great until we started talking about this shit. Yeah.
Right? Fucking what a bummer.
Mhm.
Good God.
Yeah, you
Uh,
bummer.
I'm sorry. We're going to go ahead and come on. We'll be
Move
fine.
on
Come on.
past this. You know, go rinse your brain, man. God. Been doing pretty good. I was actually playing Dragon's Dogma 2. I was using the character creator earlier this week trying to get ready for it. But before everybody told me how terrible it was, I found out for myself as far as like
It's actually
performance.
not.
What happened?
It's
What?
the
not
game or
bad.
the
The
character.
performance,
Yeah.
the performance issues are a little noticeable, but yeah, there's some optimization things they need to get kind of hammered.
You're playing it on a PC, obviously.
No, I'm playing it on Xbox.
Oh,
So
okay.
Don't they have it,
the biggest issues I have are the microtransactions up to wazoo issues.
They're not bad. They're not bad. But
Well, we're going to get into that in a
Well,
second.
no, it
Well,
wouldn't be.
yeah.
I mean, I just had to go back to my save, which was like 4 hours lost time because of because there's no way to really do certain things without having like just to stay in an inn is like could take a big chunk of your
$2,000.
money.
yeah, that's
know,
the part I was reading online, or my brother was watching a video about the save system, and pretty sure the first game was like 500 to stay in. Why is it 2,000? That's the part that confuses me. Like 2,000?
Yeah, mine was like 52. Yeah,
What the fuck?
1,500,
2,000 to say, what the hell? Is that the Ritz Carlton or some shit?
And,
I don't
and the
know.
bad thing is you have to do it. Okay,
Yeah.
you have to do it to recover so you can go to full health again. Because if you don't do it, even if you save, you can't go to full health. Because
Okay. I know in the well, yeah, I haven't played it myself, but in the first one, your health was limited unless you use certain items to heal past
Yeah.
it. But I guess they was like, nah, this is how you really gotta sleep in, which is
no, you have to
Yeah,
sleep it in.
I don't understand why they didn't do a system kind of like Elden Ring, where you can just save around a fire or find some place where you can basically.
Oh,
create
Well,
a
and even then,
space.
if you want to make a camp, you have to buy the camp
Right.
kit. They're single
Yeah.
use.
Here's the thing: regardless of what side of the fence you may fall on, regarding microtransactions, either for or against,
RPG
just the sheer fact that why did they not have them there during the review,
Yeah.
time?
Process.
Why
The fact that
release
they
it
unveiled all
after,
this,
after
yeah.
right? So the fact that they
Yeah.
waited to launch them kind of tells you that they know it's kind of scummy and fucked up, and that's
yeah.
why they didn't have it in the game at the time of review.
Wasn't it the same thing with Resident Evil 4 that they did the same thing with Resident Evil 4? Like they had it, but it was in the game, but it didn't unveil into the game release. No, I think it was because that
No,
came
it
under
wasn't
flag as well.
RE4. No, there was another game that did the same thing though, where like after the review embargo was lifted, all of a sudden there was a whole skew of bullshit that they released that they withheld.
Wasn't
from
that Gran
reviewers.
Turismo?
Yeah, I think that.
Oh,
was
it was, yeah, for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
cost of buying the
Yes.
fucking cars.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
RPG88, he made a point. He said you can camp for free.
Can you? I don't have it
You,
yet.
you have to have the camp kit, and you only get one freebie even if you get the deluxe version, dude. That's it.
And you only use it one time.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
He said he has the Explorer's Camp kit.
right. But he had to pay
Mm.
for it. But he had to
And
pay for
it's
it.
and it's
And
I'm
the
assuming
fact
that-
the fact that a microtransaction object you can purchase is
Mm.
the ability to fucking fast travel someplace
Yeah.
It's like,
Well,
why?
yes and no, because it's a waypoint marker, but you still
Yeah.
can't fast travel unless you have a fairy stone, which is another limited use item
Another
that you have to
single-use item. Yeah.
find in the game. So what I concerned when the game was coming out, I was like, I know some people were like, oh, that's how the game is. But even in Dragon's Dogma WoW was not a fan of it, and them carrying over, still not a fan of it. And knowing that you can, buy port crystals, and so yeah.
My issue is the economy in the game is so outrageous that you almost want to spend like $2 just to buy,
And that's the whole point.
Jesus.
As vanilla as it may seem, or as like non-predatory as it may seem on the outset, it's like you have to understand that knowing that they're going to be making these things, they're going to develop the game in a way that's meant to incentivize you to go buy that shit, whether that means making it extra grindy or not giving you enough of a currency or not giving you enough of this or shit like that. So
I would agree with that, but the problem is, and I made a comment, somebody made a tweet about this, but I was saying that this is a design choice they had in the previous game, at least when it comes to the fast travel side of things. Like, it's not in a sense to get you to buy a microtransaction. It's something they had in the previous game they carried over. So it's like more of a design decision that they continue to use going forward, but now you can buy an option around it. So it's less about we want to charge you and find ways to get money out of you. It's just like, hey, we're stubborn, we want to keep it this way, which I still don't like.
Well, but they could have kept it that way, but I think they made it more. They made it more. Your I don't dependent on the right word, but it's
and the thing is, no, sorry, go ahead, Paul. I was cutting you off. My bad.
No, I'm just saying that it seems like okay, but they're trying to drive it to you even more, is what I'm saying. It was something they did.
Raising the cost of everything. It also depends on how quickly you can make.
I think.
Money. I mean,
that's because
if you can't make money very fast, if you can't like build money quickly, and then they make it exorbitantly more expensive, that's rough. Then you're like,
and the thing I read from Jez Corden's Windows Central was that you can get the stones in the game, but they only in like 2 playthroughs they only found 2 vendors that carried certain stones, and they had a limited supply at that.
Okay, and again, that's it's something. Even the first game, it's to the point where the base Dragon's Dogma came out. You had the same port crystal, fairy stones as well, and then they made the Dark Arisen DLC expansion where they gave you an eternal fairy crystal or fairy stone because people were upset about the fast travel. So them introducing them introducing the eternal.
But then Triple, if their vision for the game is that we don't want you to be able to fast travel a whole bunch, we want you to walk across our world, and so we're going to limit how much fast traveling you can do because we want you to experience this world we've created. Great, if that's the case. Amazing. But then why have microtransactions to then skip shit if their vision is we want you to
again the problem is that if they were selling the fairy stones with the port crystals, then that would have the bigger case. Like, you're telling us you want to explore this on foot, but you're giving us ways to get around it with the port crystals and fairy stones. But depending on how many port crystals you could buy in the store, whether you could buy as many as you want, or if it's like a 1 purchase per account type of deal, you still have to find the fairy stones, which I don't think they sell with real money. So you're still limited. Even if you could place a marker anywhere in the map, you can't use it unless you have a fairy stone. So it's still a limited use.
Yeah,
so
I also heard that the items you can only purchase once anyway, so you can't like keep rebuying them.
Yeah, so the port crystal you can only get an extra. You can only get an extra one, but it's the last thing I want to say is the whole. I know we talked about this before, but his comment on like if your world's boring, then your fast travel is the problem, or having fast travel is get around your boring world. I'm like, Elden Ring was fantastic with this world, and you could teleport as much as you want. So
true.
It's just. If that's your design philosophy, that's fine. But no matter how interesting a world is, after a while, you just don't want to have to hoof it back and forth. Like, it just becomes tedious, like playing the first one out.
Especially if the game is set up for replays. Especially if you want to get all the achievements. Well, you have to do that. I don't want, once I go through it once or twice, I don't want to have to slog through it again and again and again.
And just the questioning.
I think the basic system of once you find a place, you can fast travel there. Like, I think that's
fine.
Why can't it? That should just be the system for everything. Like, you have to first get to the place, and then once you've found the place, then you can fast travel. Like,
no, exactly.
In all the Elder Scrolls games.
Well, that's a standard for games like for years.
Well,
so many games have had that fast travel mechanic where if you find a place, you've unlocked it. Once you unlock it, you can come back to it. And that makes it simple But yeah,
And with some of the quests, and I'm playing the first one now because my Microsoft account is screwed up, so I can't. Oh, I'm waiting to buy it, but I'm playing the first one now. And there's quests where it's like, okay, go to the main capital. Okay, now go all the way back to the northeast side of the map. So I go to the northeast. I go to the northeast side of the map. It's like, go back. I'm just like, bro, if I did not have this eternal fairy crystal, this would be so bad because there's moments where I go from one side of the map to the other. And because I don't have it in both directions, I teleport to the first one, then I got to run all the way back. And so
it takes forever. Yeah, and you're like,
All right. Cozy, how you doing? How was your week and what you been playing?
Thank you for joining us today. We
Don't worry, you can find you, Cozy. Go ahead.
Brotato. I've been playing
Brotato.
Brotato and the
Jesus.
Expanse.
Aren't you done with Brotato?
No,
Yeah.
you're never done with Brotato.
Isn't it like another zombie or vampire survivor type of game?
Yeah.
Yeah, they run on a calculator.
All right. Cerebral, how was your week? What you been playing? What you been doing?
Oh, I've been playing this. Whatever the hell, Dragon's Dogma 2. And other than that, the week was okay. I mean, I've had better weeks. I've had worse weeks, and I'm not dead yet, sadly. But you know,
You're still waking up and breathing still.
you can dream.
man, don't rub it in. Do not rub it in. Jesus.
Oh no.
Damn it, my lungs are working. Damn it.
Mm.
Well, at least okay. So, are you having fun playing this game? Let's put all these.
It's a
stuff
mixed
aside.
bag. It's a mixed bag. I'm still early enough in the fact that I had to lose like 4 to 5 hours of story to go back and tell me that I need to save at the end more often and spend money that the game really doesn't have.
Why
Like, oh, you want-
$2,000 for
Yeah.
it? I don't understand. Like,
Oh, you want to
Oh
buy
my
an apple
gosh.
to make a potion? Okay, that apple's going to cost you $500. What the fuck? No, the single apple's not that bad, but some of the prices do seem a little bit out of kilter for what you're getting. It's like,
Okay, so
crap.
does that nightly rate of $2,000 include breakfast in the morning or what?
Yeah, no
Is it
shit.
continental?
some neck in
I mean, they got to call it breakfast with that type of price. I mean, I've paid.
and it's so weird too because the save point, just hearing how the save mechanic works as well, and how end saves are a save of their own. I'm like, it's kind of vital to the gameplay, and you're putting it behind $2,000. And as you were saying, Darth, it's like how easy is it to farm money? Like I have been focusing on farming in the first one. Well, I put maybe 30, 40 hours into it now, and I just now hit like 200,000. And like I said, that's without me spending money on the fairy crystals because they're infinite in the Darker Reason DLC.
Yeah.
But 10,000 for that and items here, it's
I'm still running around in the rags I started in because I refuse to pay those prices for armor. I'm like, shit, no.
But can you get everything that you could buy in the field, or do you have to buy these things?
What do you mean, like?
I think you can find armor and stuff in the field.
think
but
so,
it's just
yeah.
a matter of where,
Mm-hmm.
Even
And with the
before
fairy-
even before I had to reset, I had only found like pants, improved pants, everything else. I'm running around with a rag shirt, and
Torn up because he stole your heart. No.
the only reason I have a decent bow is because I received the better edition is the only reason I had the additional bow and any additional resources. So
You got the deluxe edition.
yeah, that was the one that I was given. Correct.
So the deluxe edition you got the Explorer's Camping Kit came with it, which is
Yeah.
what?
Yep.
Which is what RPG.
Is that still limited use?
That's what he said.
Yeah,
That's the one you can. Yeah.
but
that's the one
it's
he
a
said.
single use, I believe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He said he said I've used it 5 times so
Oh
far.
well, okay, then maybe maybe it's the one that's not a single use.
Yeah, I don't
Mm.
know. So anyway, just
I've
heads
only
up.
found one space to camp with it, and I used it,
Mhm.
and then
you're
immediately
like,
had
"Where'd
my
it
health
go?"
knocked. Then immediately had my health knocked back down by a big, gigantic ogre thing that attacked
That's
me.
helpful.
That's nice.
Fucking game.
No, that was fun. I was going through a cave earlier, clearing out some goblins for somebody, and okay, we're done. We cleared it out. Turned a corner, and like 7 more of them jumped out. Like, this is bullshit. You are a really bad bad guide.
I saw a clip of someone getting drop kicked by an ogre, like across the map, drop kick. I was like,
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, they got good arms on them too. They throw you quite a
Oh,
way.
man.
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing is, you're talking about Paul. You're like you're running around in a worn shirt and a somewhat decent bow, and that's pretty much the extent of
That's
it.
it.
And you're
That's
the
all,
chosen
yeah.
one. You're like the dark arisen.
Yeah,
you're
I
like,
know,
what the
yeah.
fuck? You know?
You are the
said there's
chosen
some-
one. We ain't gonna give you shit, but here, go kill all
You are
this
the
shit,
chosen
right?
That's what I've always wondered, right? Like, you play these characters in these games, right? And you're supposed to be like, okay, the high and mighty, the one that's gonna save the world. But you go to a fucking inn, they charge you $200 to sleep there.
Hey,
You
man,
go
I
to,
don't
like-
care about your celebrity status. You still.
Yes, right.
It's like-
It's like you're going in there. Do you know who I am? Don't care. Do not
I
care.
It's like, if I don't complete my quest, you're not gonna have a store because you'll be dead. So give me your shit. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Triple, tell us what you've been doing, man, for this week and what you've been playing.
Yeah. So, playing Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. I haven't gotten the second one yet because I'm trying to use my reward points to buy it, and I redeemed the points, and it's like, there's a problem with your account. You're doing something that goes against the terms of service. I was like, I just redeemed my points. What you talking about? So I gotta see what's going on with that. But yeah, playing Dark Arisen. Been grinding the SD2 and hating every second of it because there's a specific weapon I want with a specific weapon roll, and it refuses to drop. And Bungie and all their, brilliance is like, hey, this event's around only for 3 weeks, and we have focusing in the game, but not for this event.
Okay, by the way, real quick, I just checked my inventory. I do have the Explorer's Camping Kit still, so it looks like it is bottom.
Oh shit! I guess I'm at the
Okay,
bottom.
so
Deluxe
I
edition.
can stop.
So they're
Stop
basically
complaining.
making you buy the deluxe edition. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Oh,
Don't
shit.
get another edition, otherwise you're fucked.
Yeah. So that's I'm disappointed. That's the only, like, I hate this, but I'm gonna keep playing it because I hate this, but I'm gonna keep playing it. So that's the loop I'm in right now. And I told myself if I don't get it by the end of the season or the event, I'll be happy. I'm not. There's gonna be a part of me that's like, I've been turning in so many medallions and spending so much hours. I just don't get the one I want. Fuck this game. And I was seeing people like, oh, I got that in my first try. And like, fuck you. Okay.
Wow.
Hate you.
I hate those people. Like when, when they released Breath of the Wild, this like a day after the fucking game came out, this one guy posted a video of him just getting the quest to go kill Ganon and getting like the glider and going just straight into Ganon and killing him. And I'm like, fuck you, man. Yeah, seriously, But anyhow, let's go to our first topic of the night. Since we're already on it, we might as well go and stay there. We'll come back to some of the other topics later. Yeah, Dragon's Dogma came out with pretty decent reviews, 9s and 8s and 9s. And stuff.
Well, it didn't come out that way. It was pre-release. The numbers were really high. 5 minutes after it dropped, not so much.
Curated reviews. Is that what you're saying, Paul? You're saying
I think I actually saw a mushroom cloud go up over the Capcom building. But
Yeah, that at least on the Steam side of things, I'm seeing. So
The next update might be delayed.
Well, I mean, it does seem kind of sus, in this whole situation. Like, okay, you're talking about before the release of the game. Oh, you have to walk everywhere. You have to do this. You have to stay in an inn to get all full health back. And they just seem to neglect the information that, in order to stay in said inn, it's going to cost you an arm and a fucking leg, which
they
you're
don't
barely
wanna
going to make.
They don't want to give those details away. That's secrets. That's not just secrets. That's spoilers. We don't want to give spoilers away.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
I just
by the way, even though you're saying, well, that's how it was in the first game, how old is the first game? Let's talk about that.
well.
Yeah.
So when I say it's still in the first game, it's okay. So I forgot who it was, but their question was their fast travel system is set up this way because they want to sell you microtransactions. And if it was a concept in the first game, my approach is it because they want to sell you microtransactions, or is it just a design decision they want to continue to carry forward? Is what I was speaking about. And that seems to be the case. Now, again, when it comes to the inn and their prices and stuff, I'm pretty sure inn was like 500 or something, amount that's not bad at all. And then I saw it was 2,000, and how saves are vital to the game. Like 2,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah, it really is.
Especially when you have 10,000 for a fairy stone. I'm just like, what are these prices, man?
Yeah,
How long
that's
does
my
it
problem.
take
It's like
in-game
right
to
right
make it?
now, because I've completed a mission or two, I have 36,000, and everything everything comes up. I'm like, I don't want to spend money on that. I don't want to because that 36,000 really isn't jack shit. You know, it's like I'm gonna burn
But like,
through that.
how long does it take you to make 2,000? Does it like is that one instance or what? Like what does it take?
It depends. I think main missions are gonna pay more, from what I can tell, but I haven't gotten far enough into it to be able to tell you. I got to the first major city, which was the first major quest, and I was given, I had like 3,000, and I jumped to like 30,000. So I mean, it was a decent pay, but
Okay.
still, you have to get to that point first, and you know. And
Like,
like
okay.
I said, I don't know if they're all gonna pay that much, so I'm afraid to spend any fucking money.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I know with one of the areas where I spent a lot of money in the first game was buying stamina items to recharge my stamina when I'm exploring. And in the second one, I hear that you don't lose any stamina while you're exploring. So that cuts costs for me at least.
Yeah,
So I don't
that
have to
helps
start
that,
down, buy like 20 mushrooms to be able to make sure I can run around. So I mean, there's that, but
I have found that because you can have pawns with you, it is worth it to hire a decent pawn. The mage is the one who can refill your stamina and refill your health. So drag a mage with you wherever you've.
Okay, so the cure spells can still like. So does the cure spells like refund your health entirely, or is it still you got to rest at an inn or something?
You've still got to rest at an inn because it's got that limited thing that happens after a while, like you're exhausted or you've been damaged in such a way that
Yeah.
Well, I mean, excuse me. My question is, what would you recommend? You start. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Whiskey. I would recommend a lot of whiskey. For
Stop scarfing down those nuts. You won't be coughing so much now.
Well, I'm not having lunch. This is my.
No, I don't know what you're snacking on.
All right. So yeah, what would you recommend as starting a person who's never played this game start with? Like, any advice?
Not an archer. I'm just throwing that
Even
out.
the mage archer or whatever.
I'm starting. So the magic archer should be an advanced skill. Yeah, it's you have the archer, the fighter, the warrior, the thief,
the fighter, the thief, the archer, and
a
the
mage. Yeah.
But the problem with the archer is learn to run backwards real quick because they have no defense, none. And they have no hand-to-hand combat either.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. In the first game, the ranger was it? I think it's the ranger or the I don't know what it is, but it was like you had the thief class and the archer class merged into one in the first game, and now it's like, nah, those are separate. I'm like, but why?
Well, you have a defensive ability where you can basically jump off of them. Like
no. That's an ability that's learned later though.
Yeah,
but
that's
all you have is
the
kick.
archer. Yeah,
Okay.
I know. That's and that one. Yeah, the one where you jump off of and you fire. It's not too far into the game, but yeah, that's the one that actually works for you. So your archer does build and get better. It's not like they just stay that way. So
but if you're first starting this game and you're not used to,
the
archer is probably not the good option.
But still, is this true?
The rogue is actually pretty good. I did do a rogue.
I might have to choose
because they do a lot of DPS really quick.
And that's a lot of damage.
Yep.
So which one would be which class?
I would say the fighter because the fighter's a tank. So there you go.
It's a Dark Souls thing all over. What mage is the hardest class strength or dex?
Play with? The problem with the mage again, like the archer, is if you get hit as a mage, you're not gonna live through much. They are not meant to.
They're glass cannons.
Yeah,
I mean, they're wearing fucking robes, so
yeah.
Well,
that's fair.
I heard that it also runs really bad on pretty much across the board.
I haven't had any problems as far as that goes.
That I don't know. I know that
now, if you want me to scream about loading screens because that seems to be all the rage, then yeah, the loading screens take
no, hardly. So on the console version, doesn't it run at an uncapped and it gets up to like 40 or something? Is that what they said?
I think so. Yeah, that's what I heard. It actually does a little bit better on the Xbox than on the PS5. That's what I've heard.
No,
I'm not.
Digital Foundry. What y'all saying now?
But so before anybody starts bashing on me for saying something like that, that's just what I've heard. And yeah, that it goes over 40, and on the the PS5 it'll actually dip quite low, below 30 sometimes. Again, that's just what's one of the sites. It might have even been the digital foundry that I hate. So,
Well,
So
the
if-
funny thing about this whole frames per second situation debacle going on with this game is that apparently it doesn't run well on the PC either, and so there's a lot of Steam players who are planning on going in and just basically doing a mass slaughter of the NPCs just to get
Oh,
the
yeah.
FPS.
Oh, yeah, just to cut the frame rate down.
I
Oh yeah,
saw
because they
that,
explain
yeah.
how the
CPU heavy, yeah.
CPU, the AI really is.
I read that article. I almost shot I had smelled drinks and spray. I shot it out of my nose. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I mean, if it works, sorry, diarrhea in PC is important. So, killing a few people might, for the greater good of the world,
It's like I'm committing mass genocide. Why? Because I just wanted the game to run fast.
Hey, when you get that fight with the dragon,
Look at
and
it this
you're
way:
like,
think of it as standing
the-
in line at
immediately.
Disneyland and wanting to get to the front. If you kill a few people, it just
Out of
makes
the
it go
fucking
that much
way.
quicker.
It's like the Kim Jong Un simulator. Or the
Fuck that town. I want my 4 frames. God damn it. They will die.
What is this? The Mao Zedong or the Kim Jong Un simulator? Like, you're the chosen one, so you're gonna kill
No,
your
that was the
population just to
one.
make your situation better.
Like I said, putting an option slider in for mass genocide would be a lot easier. That would work well. I would say that the Capcom should have learned from Monster Hunter Rise, which they put a graphics capable slider to make the frame rates go, but I guess
Yeah.
they didn't care.
It's-
It's two different development groups, and it kind of pisses me off. It's like, share these things between each other. It'd be great if you guys would talk to each other a little bit and say, hey, when the game runs like shit, maybe we can turn some things off and make it better. And they're like, no. Experience,
That takes
man.
away all the fun.
yeah.
Fucking assholes. Yeah, fucking fun.
We're trying to raise a new generation of serial killers, man. That's all we're trying to do. It's
Like I said, when it comes to it, it's like if they would just look at a console like a PC and say, "Hey, we'll give you the same fucking options." That's all I ask for. It's not the hardest thing to
More
do. It can be
dev
done.
time, I
Well,
guess.
and here's the thing too: when they are making it for the console, either console, it's a fixed box. I mean, really, those should be some of the ones that are the best setup because they don't have to worry about differing hardware and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, but when I brought up Monster Hunter Rise, Monster Hunter World was not optimized and it ran how it ran, but it struggled with a lot of different areas. And when Monster Hunter Rise came out for the PS5 and Series X, they gave there's like 5 options for graphic and performance modes that you can totally tailor to make it run exactly how you want to eliminate any effects you want to or have the maximum amount of effects no matter what. They gave you all the options that a PC would give you.
Right.
And I was like, it's wonderful. And it's like I said, it's so simple to do. Just do it. Let us have the option.
Just do it.
Just fucking do it.
well, here's the thing that really I can't understand. Okay. So this game was supposed to, with the amount of buzz that this game had coming off of Dragon's
Agreed.
Dogma 1 and Dark Arisen, because Dragon's Dogma 1 is an underground cult classic, if you will, right? And
I've never heard of it until I heard of this game, to be honest.
Oh my gosh.
Let's put it that
I'm
way.
I'm leaving. I see. I don't like the
Yeah, I
slander.
never
this
heard of
Dragon's Dogma.
Dragon's Dogma until this game started.
No, that's fair. That's why some people are surprised by the fairy crystal system because I was like, that wasn't the first game. Everybody played the first game. That's fair. Yeah,
no, but you would think that if you're Capcom and you're making basically what is a proof of concept, right? A new IP, if you will, and not a new IP, but relatively new IP.
A hidden IP.
You would make sure this is you checked all the boxes. You make sure that this is the best optimized thing going because this is like your your only chance to make a first impression, and they didn't. And that's the thing that blows my mind. It's like, you make Monster Hunter games and you do well. You make Resident Evil games that you knock it out of the park. And then you have a chance of making a new IP successful. And because of whatever reason, you don't.
I get
And
what you're
that doesn't make any
saying.
sense.
But okay, so the thing is, I think you miss that they're fails. Because they had a lot of fails between when Dragon's Dogma came out, the first one came out. when the first Dragon's Dogma came out, that was in Capcom's bad period.
Yeah.
Like
bro,
that was
like the
when
first game.
like the best Monster Hunter was holding them up. The
DLC on the
3DS
disc.
games were what was holding them up, and
Right.
literally the
The
3DS version of
Wii.
Resident Evil Revelations, is kind of what revitalized the series.
Like,
Yeah,
what's that
but you-
dinosaur game where the portal opens up and just shits velociraptors all over the place?
Exoplanet or not Exoplanet.
Exoprimal.
Exoprimal. There we go. I don't know what's
Yeah.
Exo. This isn't
Like
space.
that
This
was
isn't
a
space.
total winner.
I
Anyone
played
I put a lot of
Exo.
hours into Exoprimal.
Put like maybe 5 hours at most. I was like, I can't do this.
Don't look at how many hours I have in it.
I don't want. Yeah. I
The
was using-
hitboxes are like very like
generous.
no, very Monster Hunter
Oh, you talk about
level.
when the freaking
Plessy.
Rathalos
yeah.
hits you with the hip
Hip
check, and it
checks,
was
yeah.
like cross country
it's-
hip check.
Mhm. Like you weren't even near me, but I actually
Yeah.
enjoyed it. But
I
it's,
tried it. It was getting too repetitive. I was using, which one is that? It was was it Tempest or something? I had the dual wielding style. I was trying. I just wasn't feeling it, and yeah, it was just repetitive. I couldn't do it. Maybe they add more modes to it. I don't know, but yeah.
Well, no, I mean, it's just, I know that even Street Fighter, and I wish Loke was here to comment on this. I heard Street Fighter was not the best optimized either. I mean, I'm not a fighter, don't play fighting games much, so anyone know anything about that? Like it wasn't running well or something like that as well?
Street Fighter 6? I've
Yeah, Street Fighter 6. I heard from
I haven't
like,
heard anything negative. Like if
Well-
it did have bad performance, probably to such a minor degree. But I haven't heard anything.
I know that nobody talked about it 2 weeks after it was released. Other than that,
He's not wrong. though.
Because it's Street Fighter. It's a fighting game.
well, I mean, I don't know. It just it seems kind of like some of the decisions made are kind of suspect. You know, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, like you had a lot of potential here and you sort of like squandered it. But yeah, I don't know. Didn't make any sense to me. Like
Yeah.
after the effect, you know, especially this whole thing with
Dragon's Dogma itself, the IP, even though it's got like a lot of people kind of a little buzz around it now, the IP wasn't like a Resident Evil or a
yeah.
Monster Hunter or any of the other, like it wasn't. So maybe they just didn't think that much about it because they're like, this is kind of like a lower tier IP that we have that we're making this game. I don't know, you know.
Well, I mean, they must have seen
from
the first
the-
preview buzz. People were talking about it. They could have, like, you know, stopped and sort of changed course. I mean, they could have said, "Okay, well, wow, there's people are really looking forward to this game. That we have a
Yeah, but
we
at
can
that
strike."
time, at that time
so-
was how much of the cake was already baked by the time
Yeah.
that happened. you know?
No,
This is
exactly.
true.
And I had to look at the meta scores. Like from what I'm hearing is that the game is like it's not bad. It's just that some of the decisions that you're making, you're having people scratch their head. Like some people are saying that the open world is amazing to combat. The quest or like the main story isn't the best, and their quest mechanics are. I had to see how can I put it? If the quests are fun, less so about hey, we're not going to tell you what to do, but whether they're engaging or not. But overall, like the game's being praised, at least on Metacritic, not Steam reviews, because the game's being dog bad on Steam. But
yeah.
review wise, like it's reviewed pretty well in that regard. It's just as we're saying, the fast travel system, the campaign, the autosave, and the save mechanic is just like why do that, and how much of
Oh,
the
come
systems
on.
are is it fun to deal with, or is it just is it tedious? And I know you're balancing that part of making it a game to where obviously you got to put work into, like if you want to level up, get XP, whatever, but you also want to make sure it's not tedious from the player, which I just keep going back to. Like for me, I don't see, and I want to keep banging on drum here with the fast travel, but I just don't see the benefit of having such a limited fast travel system. Like, you know, it's doesn't really help much, but you know, Metacritic is averaging 87, 89, 86. So I think it did far better than the first one did. But
Well, I mean, it just seems kind of weird. I mean, like, okay, as I said, $2,000 to stay at an inn, which like we sort of take for granted as like RPG players or gaming in general. Like you don't spend that much, especially in your beginning town. Like your beginning town is like, I remember like most RPGs, the beginning town, the inn is like 5 rupees or some shit like that, like barely.
I mean,
costs you
it's all
anything.
relative though, right? It's all relative to how fast you're getting that currency in game. It could be $20,000, but if you're making 100,000, you know, every half hour, it's not a big deal.
yeah,
This is true. This is true. This is true. But I mean, all of this stuff that we're talking about could be fixed in later patches, right? Like they can, like they did with Dark Arisen, they can give
Dragon's
you
Dogma 2,
something.
Dark Arisen, Eternal First.
Yeah. They can do a lot of other things. Will they? We don't know. I mean, I don't know. It depends on how much of a backlash they get, but I mean, it is all things that it's not anything fundamentally wrong with the game from what I'm hearing. It just seems like some of the design decisions seem sort of having a little bit of a gotcha mechanic. And that's what doesn't sit well with a lot of people. So,
Dude, it's a Japanese game, man. I mean, this is
Yeah.
I'm not surprised
They
at all.
want your monies.
No. It's not that. Let's be
Elden Ring.
honest. No. They build things the way they do it. The Western influence is very minimal. I mean, they really want to don't want to take anything from a lot of Western. In all truth, look at Monster Hunter World and the way that you had to connect with other players to play online game to like
The SOS flare, and
it was
yeah.
very, very clunky, and that's because it was an old system, and it's not like they take criticism or critique well and go, "Hey, we're going to incorporate this new system." We're doing this.
You
it's the way
said-
we've done it. That's that.
Wait, Monster Hunter what?
Monster Hunter
World?
Every Japanese game has
World?
weird, clunky,
World,
convoluted
yeah.
menus.
And
No.
they all do.
when you go further back, Monster Hunter games are even harder to like play with.
We don't talk about we don't talk about the older Monster
I
Hunter.
mean,
I know.
the older ones, but like
No.
what you call it? Actually, Monster
World.
Hunter. That was a big complaint about Monster Hunter World is that they were unnecessarily complicated
Oh
compared
yeah,
to
they still were. It's
like
still-
compared. No, it was more complicated
Which-
than the other previous versions because the other previous
In what-
versions
in
you
what
just
areas?
went to. There was a hub, and you just went
Oh,
to like
yeah,
the
yeah.
multiplayer hub.
I
I thought they had the hub in.
No,
They
Monster
do
Hunter
it-
World worked
World
something
has-
stupid. It
Yeah,
had a
yeah,
lot of
it's-
issues that
they
the other
probably-
games didn't.
Yeah, I had to look into it again because that World you do have the hub. I remember, or at least in the start area, there's like
Yeah,
a
the
hub
hub.
above you, but I don't know how to jump into it. I don't remember how your session
So,
started. I
in,
think
um,
Rise
You
made
could
it.
join other people that send SOSs. You could look for
Rise,
SOSs.
Mhm.
Rise did it the traditional way, which is like had just had a multiplayer hub.
Yeah, you
People
got- you
join
got
your
a
game
hub,
from
yeah.
the hub.
You had a multiplayer hub also in
World, yeah,
Worked
and
that
that's
way as well.
because there's
did.
something about Rise that
Put
was
800 hours in World. I mean,
yeah. I how much did I put? Probably
No, I
800
mean
as
it
well,
didn't have the
500 I think.
traditional hub that you just like. So in Rise was the way it traditionally worked. You had a hub. People joined from your hub. People like
Yeah.
saw your open game, joined your hub, and then someone picked a mission and everyone joined the mission.
well, and
Everyone.
Isn't
I understand. That's
Oh,
the
well.
way. That's kind of the way that they've.
I mean, it's
designed it.
how
What I'm saying, it's like games like Call of Duty or whatever. You could actually join somebody in a game. Like, hey, I'm going to join in match, and you like join the person in the party chat, and all of a sudden, boom, you get pulled in the game. It's not perfect, but you can work it that way. And I'm like, why don't you just make it that way in the Monster Hunter game?
I gotta look into
they join
the.
it.
Because I'm thinking
There was no real reason why not.
within
It's
the
just
structure
because-
of like how they make their games, it just
It's they made it a specific way and they didn't make it
Yeah.
open that way. And that's my problem. That's my issue.
I think
it's like
yeah,
make it
and-
more modern so you can get in and out of it easier.
yeah, I know at least with World they had the SOS flare, so that's probably what I remember because I do remember you select a quest, you jump into the quest, so you got to slap a SOS flare into the world, and that's when people could join in. Versus as you're saying, you have the hub and then you get the group together. Then if you're like playing with a party, like
If
an
you're
actual
playing
group
with
of
a party,
people,
you can jump in
it's
with a party.
yeah, but you can't just like I'm pretty unless it was removed from the start, like the opening of the game. I thought you could like create your own hub and just have random people join. I know in
you can.
yeah, so
You
yeah,
can.
do that.
but-
Yeah, from the beginning of the game, you can open and make it and draw people in. Yeah.
okay.
So I have
So,
random
but-
people join me all the time. So.
Well, let's pivot on to the other game that came out this week. Well, there's another game, the third game, but we're not going to talk
Really?
about that Princess Peach Toe Time, but because nobody bought it. But
really?
well, nobody here bought it.
Oh.
I don't think.
I don't touch
Um,
yeah, my
haven't bought it
Switch
for my
is literally
daughter yet.
gathering,
Okay,
like
she
literally
wants to know.
gathering dust at this moment. So you know.
I mean, I think they were giving away Stanley Cups for people to buy it, but I don't know.
Hey, I would have bought it for a Stanley Cup, and I don't even own a Switch. Okay, I mean,
if they put a Stanley Cup with it, you'd have a whole lot of people buying Switches all of a sudden.
Bunch of sellouts. God.
Yeah, but let's go ahead and talk about the.
Stanley.
My God, it's a Stanley. It's
Oh
a
my
what?
God.
It's
Have you
it's
seen that video? The lady that like went, or the big line of people going into like Starbucks to get a freaking Starbucks cup, and it was a pink one. They like 1,000 people.
Oh yeah,
standing
I
around.
got a story about that one. That one was funny as fuck, right? And so I did not know anything about this Stanley Cup. It was right before Valentine's Day. This shit came out, right? So I'm at Target because my wife wanted me to do some errands. I had to go get some stuff like some cleaning utensils and shit. And there I was at Starbucks picking up a coffee, and they were putting out these pink Stanley cups, and I'm like, well, shit, I didn't get my wife anything for Valentine's Day. I guess I'll get one of these things,
Just what she wants, a pink Stanley Cup. Yes.
And I brought it home. She's like, "What the fuck did you get me?" I said, "It looked good, like at the time, It seemed like good."
Last second. I thought you would like it.
And she was so.
Baby, I've seen YouTube videos of people killing each other for these things.
No, I didn't see it. No. Let me rephrase it. Let me say
That's the
this.
equivalent of the old days of the last second. Come home.
Tickle me, Elmo.
No. Here's your beef jerky and your carton of cigarettes, baby. Yeah, the 7-Eleven was the only thing I could find open, man.
No, I did. I totally forgot about Valentine's Day, and like in February is a very expensive month because it's my son's my eldest birthday, our anniversary, and Valentine's Day all in the same month, and it's the shortest fucking month of the year. So. Anyhow, I totally forgot about Valentine's Day, and I was just there getting a coffee, and they were literally putting it out as I was ordering my coffee.
Okay,
like,
wait. I got a question. Let's go to Target to get coffee. Okay, to get a.
No,
coffee.
I was at Target because I was getting some other shit. You don't have to have that Starbucks.
Damn it! Don't you judge him.
No, I didn't go to Target to get Starbucks. I was there to do other grocery
Alabama,
shopping.
Target is high class, man.
Yeah,
Target, baby.
That's bougie. That's bougie.
Yeah, that's bougie. The regular people shop at Walmart and Costco instead. The rich people shop at Target. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, but but I didn't see any of the videos. I didn't know anything about this whole Stanley craze or anything like that. I just saw a pink water bottle. I'm like, yeah, she needs a new water bottle. I guess I'll get her this one. And I brought it home. She fucking hated it. And she's like, why the fuck did you buy me a pink water bottle? And I'm like, well, you needed a water bottle. There you go. And so she took it to work. She didn't even know. We didn't know. We were totally oblivious to this whole situation. And she comes back the next day. She's like, how much did you pay for this? I said, it was like about $40 or so. She's like, do you know every other person asked me where I got that cup from, and they were willing to buy it off of me for double or triple the price?
I don't know. Okay, hold on. Let me ask you. I don't understand what the fuck the big deal is about these goddamn cups. Like, what do they do?
A limited edition. That's just all it is. People are like, it's limited edition. I gotta have it.
Like Stanley's a fucking tool company. Who gives a shit? If I don't understand why the product exists to begin with. Second of all, I don't understand why there's this craze. Like, there are other companies that make the same fucking thing.
I mean, and actually better. Like I do Yeti. I've been doing Yeti for the longest time, and I mean, it's a cup. I mean, yeah.
But the thing is, would your Yeti survive a car fire?
Yes.
I don't know. Can I survive a fucking car fire if I'm stuck in it? No?
I feel like, that's the last thing I want to be concerned about. If I'm in a car fire, like, damn, is my cup going to survive this?
Some random fucking event here with our Stanley Cup. He'll survive shark attack.
I was super confused when they first started talking about the Stanley Cup because I was like, why is suddenly do people care about hockey?
That's what I thought. I'm like, everyone's fighting for the Stanley Cup. I'm like, no, there's only one team that wins that shit every year,
right?
But
my nephew was like, these people are fighting over the Stanley Cup. I was like, fighting
the Stanley Cup, like someone tested the Stanley Cup and it had like lead, like high lead counts or something.
Oh, it does? What the fuck?
Like, I mean, like a lot of products have lead in them, but it was like that set it off
every year.
No. Well, that explains a lot. I mean, lead poison, lead damage, brain being.
I buy whatever's like $10 at Target, not at Target, at TJ Maxx.
Yeah, I mean,
all my drink bottles are $10 at TJ Maxx.
$10 max.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
As I said, my kids were all both my boys were like, "Where did you get the cup from?" And I'm like, "Target." They're like, "What? Did you wait in line?" No.
Isn't it just an insulating water cup so it keeps cool and hot things out? Isn't that all it fucking does?
That's all it does. It's a cup. It holds water and maybe whatever else you want to drink in there.
Well,
isn't
it insulated and stuff too, though?
Yeah, it's insulated.
It's like every other fucking cup that's out there. Like it's like a Yeti or some shit.
No, but I'm saying, but like, so are the Yetis, but the Yetis are overpriced too. And God forbid you should want a Yeti cooler. You know,
Nuts.
it's like holy crap.
Yeah.
Right, those Yeti coolers.
But
are
they are great quality. But they are great quality.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
To get in a fist fight in a Walmart because you want the pink one that just got announced, like that good? Jesus
Have you
Christ.
ever stepped outside? Well, not in your case. Have you ever rolled outside on, like Black Friday?
Oh my gosh.
I think the thing is, that is, I don't know. I'm cheap, so I could never imagine paying over a certain amount for like.
And
And,
you're
I
talking
mean, I
about-
buy insulated, cups, but I'm never going to. And also, my issue with the Stanley one is, wait, so it's not even spill proof?
Oh yeah,
Unless
it,
you
it
can
fucking leaks. Yeah, that's the
Because,
thing.
yes, I'm not spending that much on any water bottle that isn't 100% spill proof. If I'm spending like $20, it better be perfectly, have that perfect temperature regulation and be spill proof. If it's not both those things, I'm like, why am I paying that much?
Because his
Now,
kitchen
I-
cabinet's nothing but sippy cups.
No, I do have a
That's
cup.
what it comes down. They're adult sippy cups. There you go.
I do have a coffee mug that keeps my coffee hot. Like there's like a little electric element or some heating element right below the cup that you can like plug in, and the cup keeps the coffee hot. And that, I mean, I paid quite a bit for that, but then it keeps the coffee hot. So yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
or like for example, like what I'll do for lunch, like I'll put I'll make the soup in that little cup, and yeah,
I got my cheap old Contigo.
There you go.
Well, I mean,
I think
They also, they
for-
replace those lids for free.
what?
Like the Contigo. Like if your lid starts leaking, you just like be like, hey, my lid started leaking, and then they give you a new one.
Well, I
got
mean,
you,
it
Chief.
doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Like, I mean, and you're talking about like, oh, okay, what happens if can it survive a car fire? Well, I can only imagine.
Oh,
like,
that was a reference
Oh,
to
no,
a
wait,
very
wait, I was
specific
gonna point
incident.
out that I could just see you like regaining consciousness at the hospital and like the family's okay, everything's okay. Car's totaled. You're like, but the cup,
Right.
the Stanley
the cup,
cup.
it's a cup.
Oh no, that was actually a reference to something that happened.
Really, this woman burned to a crisp, but her cup was still
No,
there.
like her car burned, but
Well, fuck, my $30,000 car is totaled, but my cup,
Where's
my
my damn
$20 cup is
God.
okay. Thank God.
I can only see. I
The-
can
the
see a
day
car
is
catching
saved.
flames, and the police come in to
Hey, that's an
investigate
awesome
after the
commercial.
fire's out. They're
You
like,
think about
okay,
it.
here's the ashes of the person who was driving, but guess what? The cup is safe though.
Just imagine
You
having
have,
that
you
as a
have the old
marketing
joke there.
thing.
If it's fireproof, why don't they build the whole car out of Stanley Cup?
Exactly. Kind of like, why can't they build a plane out of the fucking black material on the black box that doesn't break?
Right?
oh my goodness, an entire car of Stanley Cup. Oh my god.
I'm
shit.
waiting for the spoof movie where you see this crispied up corpse with the hand wrapped around a Stanley cup. This is pristine condition, but the cup,
Yeah, one day they're gonna go to
It's all
Pompeii. They're gonna be
movie.
digging up Pompeii. There's gonna be a guy who's covered in solidified in motion by the volcano, but he's gonna have his Stanley Cup or some shit.
That's open. Did he fast travel? Was there time travel? Did travel warn the
Hey,
city?
Doctor Who. Remember, Doctor Who was at Pompeii.
God damn
Okay,
it.
I'm just saying.
That's how you know.
Oh shit!
Oh, Pompeii.
All right, well
That's
let's
nice,
go on
though.
to the other
Yeah.
game. And Supa's been
other
playing it.
game.
Not to be confused with
Rise
Pompey.
of the Ronin. Rise of the Ronin. Got it. Not played it yet. Planning on playing that first, actually, until they sort of work out the kinks of Dragon's Dogma 2. So, Super, go ahead, carry it away. Tell us what you thought about the game and etc.
It's dope. I'm really liking it. For me, it's probably the easiest Souls-like game I've ever played. It's really, really accessible. Like if someone is interested in getting into like Souls-like games, like this is easily like the one you would want to choose. It's very, very lenient, even on standard difficulty. It's also an open world with the collectathon, which is just fucking warms the cockles of my heart. I like going around just collecting shit.
Mhm.
So that's what I've been doing. I've only done like a couple missions, and I've spent the rest of the time just
The
clearing out the
cockles of
map,
my
getting
heart.
all the shit. It's a reference to what's his name, Dennis Leary.
Dennis Leary, yeah, the cockles.
Yeah.
Of my heart.
No cure for cancer.
I knew what you were talking about.
Well, let me ask you a question. Is it RPG 80 has heard it's better than expected. It got sevens and 8s across the board, but my
Was expecting
Yeah.
6s and 5s.
well, I mean,
I think eight is fair. Sevens, I mean, I could see a case made for a 7. I could see a case made for a 9. For me personally, without having beaten it, of course, I would say that it's at an 8. Like, I don't think it's anything extraordinary. It doesn't do anything in particular exceptionally well. It just, it works. I will say that I haven't had a single crash the entire time I've been playing it, and I've pretty much no-lifed it since 10 o'clock last night, with the exception of a couple hours this morning.
Does it cost $2,000 to stay at a fucking inn?
It doesn't cost money to stay anywhere, and you can fast travel around the whole goddamn map for free, and you have a glider and a horsey.
Is boring because it has a fast travel? Is that what you're saying? According to the Dragon's Dogma diet, that's the reason.
Is it boring? Is the game not worth it? Is it open world boring?
In order to get the fast travels to open up, you have to first travel to the fucking place. So it's not like you're not traveling.
As it should be.
That's why in games like Assassin's Creed, a lot of times what I'll do first is I'll just travel from spot to spot to spot to spot and open all that shit up. And then when I have to do quests that require me to travel around, hey, I've already been there once. Let's go.
So is it open world or is it open zone?
It's fully open world.
Really?
So,
wow.
Yep.
Isn't this the first actual open world? Like, I don't think Neo and
Neo wasn't. It was open.
Nope.
You move from one.
And Wulong
Neo and Wolong are all like semi-open linear, where like it'll have kind of some areas where it'll open up and there's multiple avenues to get to the next area, but they're still very linear and they're mission specific, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna go through and do this missions in this area, this missions in that area, and it's you're not gonna be able to go all over the place. This is a fully open map from the rip. Like the second you get out of the tutorial mission and you touch the main map, you can fucking go anywhere.
Okay. Well, people are comparing it to a cross between Ghost of Tsushima and Demon Souls and Dark Souls and what's that game called? Assassin's Creed. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. I wouldn't necessarily say Demon Souls. I would say Neo, because I mean that's the games they made, which are still themselves, derivative kind of the Demon Souls and shit. But it is very much, if you've played their other games, Neo, it is Neo with heavy influences from Assassin's Creed, heavy influences from Ghost of Tsushima. And it's like I said, for me, it's far, far easier than any of the other Souls games I've ever played for a multitude of reasons.
Do you think somebody like Cerebral can play it? That's the question. If it's easy enough for Cerebral to play, then everything is good.
Ooh,
well, I mean,
man.
there's also, I think it's the first one that has a difficulty setting too. So if it was too difficult, you could turn it down, and you could turn on Cerebral shit. But it's far more forgiving than other Souls games.
The Neo games kind of kick my ass. I ain't gonna lie.
It's far more forgiving than those games.
Well, people forget about Team Ninja. Team Ninja actually started the Souls-like in the sense that Ninja Gaiden was a fucking hard ass game on the Xbox and the Xbox 360s. And I'm gonna remember the first.
There's bonfires and boss weapons. I'm gonna stop.
No, like that first boss. Like I remember playing Ninja Gaiden on the Xbox, on the original Xbox, and
Black Ninja Gaiden Black, was it?
Ninja Gaiden Black, yeah. And the first boss kicked my ass every which way to Tuesday. The teacher with the nunchuck, that bitch there. I mean,
so they did the 2 boss fight endings, and I remember, if I recall, the first of the 2 boss fight was like a giant statue, and the last boss was like, I don't want to. I try not to spoil stuff, but it's okay. So it's your teacher again. He turned out to be evil, but I beat the statue with like a sliver of health. Like my friends and I call it magic pixel, and I beat the boss by spamming one attack. The final boss, where I was like, if I get hit once, I'm gonna die. I just spammed the horizontal slash, you jump slash across. That's all I did for the whole fight, and I managed to win. I actually beat the boss.
Oh my god, you're lucky as shit. I was like, I played that game, and back in the day, it was like there was no Souls, so Souls-like or anything was not even a thing. And you're like, what the fuck? Why did they make this game so fucking hard that I can't even beat the first main boss?
Alma, that's her name, right? The Alma in the church, the alien sister of whatever. And man, that was the boss that was destroying me. I remember, I think I had rented it from Game Crazy nearby, and I was like, shit, I got 7 days. I could not beat the boss. I was like, damn, I got to return this game. After Alma was just kicking my ass. She was, man, it was bad. It was horrible, man.
But it was fun. I mean, for what it was at the time, so it was cool.
Yeah.
I mean, the graphics were for that time like eye bleeding. So yeah.
I not to get too far off topic. I tried this Ninja Gaiden 2 and I had to stop playing it. I was getting aggravated too. Like I play Souls games like we were talking about Ninja Gaiden 1, but there was something about 2 that just made me not want to play it no more. I just couldn't, missiles up the wazoo, and I'm just like, this is horrible.
Well, the controls were not as precise as they were in 1 for me as well. So that's why when the control is not good, that really takes me away from the whole experience. I just
you're fighting the game more than the game.
Right, and then if the game calls for like precision movement, you're like, well, fuck this, So yeah. Supa. So let me ask you a question. They did have a digital deluxe for 80. They have the standard for 70. My question is it worth the digital deluxe, or is it even worth a buy on like right now, or should you want to wait for a sale?
I mean, it depends on the person. If this is your style of game, if you enjoy Souls likes, or if you enjoy like the Assassin's Creed, Ghost of Tsushima's open world type games, then I'd say it's worthy of full price. I don't think it's a game that I would necessarily feel like I need to wait for a sale. Like I don't regret having paid full price. I actually did get the digital deluxe edition. I don't know if I necessarily would do that again, because I don't know that the items I got from it are really worth it, because obviously you get shit at the beginning, but then as you play you get better shit along the way anyway, so there's really kind of no point. And I honestly, I know that, but I'm stupid and bought the fucking digital deluxe edition anyway. But if you were to just go to like the standard $70 one on console anyway, I think it's more than worth its price.
And how does it run? Does it run at 30 or at 60, or was it running at
I'm not a fucking Digital Foundry frame counter, but I'm just running in performance. I haven't really noticed any major dips or anything. Nothing that's like causing me to be like, whoa, the frames are tanking or anything like that. Also, like I said before, I haven't had any crashes, no freezes. I haven't seen any bugs, and I've been playing for at least 10 hours.
Okay, so well optimized, huh?
I mean, it seems pretty good to me in terms of at least optimization for not necessarily performance, but like how well it runs. In terms of the performance for frames, that's a Digital Foundry question. I don't know, but
I mean, like just generally, how smooth is it in gameplay? Like, I mean, obviously, you're not going to sit there and say, "Oh, it's actually 59.9."
It's the best gameplay ever.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I haven't noticed anything where I'm like, oh, the tanks are, frames are starting to tank here, or like in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, 100% during certain fights, you can that shit turns into a slideshow, like it starts tanking hardcore. Because I had a character Yuffie that one of her abilities that I got was when she fills up her AP bar, that has these giant explosions of electricity that come out. And then when you use the AP, like it was like the cycle of I would constantly use AP, get it back, and have these explosions of lightning, and that shit in fights.
Every time that happened, did you yell, "There can be only one"? I'm just
No, but unlike that game, I haven't
now. Yeah.
Oh, right. There can be only one Highlander. For me, I mean, other people, but also my eye's not very sensitive to that shit. Like, as long as it's not an egregious drop, as long as it's not going from like 60 to 30, if it's fluctuating between 60 and 45, I'm honestly probably really not going to notice it. My eye doesn't really get bothered by that shit. But people
it's unplayable.
Then you're not a real gamer. Okay.
It's unplayable trash.
But let's be honest, the only reason he bought this day one and paid $80 for it, because that's the only pussy he's ever going to be able to pet. That's why.
Find the cats.
I have cats in my house. God damn it.
And they're not even his. The window's open and he can't close it.
Yeah.
It just keeps coming in.
Why are you buying so much tuna fish? No, but shut the fuck up.
I like too.
I would kick him out, but I don't have a foot to kick him out with, so therefore they're just gonna come and go. Oh shit! Okay, so well, pretty good. Anyone else interested in this game or planning on purchasing it or has played it or heard anything about it?
What game are we talking about again?
Rise of Ronin. Rise of Ronin.
I don't have enough interest in it, really. I've heard because
No
it is
interest.
Souls-like.
Negative
I'm like,
interest.
Nope.
So I went past the.
It's honestly, it really is lenient, Paul. Like, for example, when you're out of combat, you automatically regenerate all of your health.
Oh, wow.
Like, that is like unheard of in Souls games. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, you got fucking 2 health points left. Sucks. You better make a potion or fucking do something.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
Go ahead.
what I if it was one of- like this, if it was a game that I was given, shall we say, that yeah, I wouldn't turn my nose up at it.
Yeah.
But,
It
you know-
also it really heavily leans on parries as well, so you can parry
See, and
every
that's
attack.
depending on how the parry works. So what, but like, do I have to do like a left trigger, left?
Nope,
bumper?
just one button press. It's just triangle, and like there are like regular standard attacks. You can parry all of them, or just dodge with circle. And then there'll be like these red attacks where if you parry those, almost every time it'll put them in kind of a staggered, a staggered stance, and then you can go in with triangle again and do like a fatal blow or something like that. Doesn't some enemies, the stronger ones, it might take more than one.
So it's
hit
like
to do it, but I mean,
Sekiro. How they
Right.
had their stagger system.
So
But-
it sounds like
but
that's
but
something I could
far
probably
easier.
handle. Then that's probably
yeah,
something I
it's
could
just
probably-
it's like I said, if it's far more accessible than any of the other Souls. Like I said, getting the health back outside of combat, fucking, that's a godsend. Being so heavy reliant on parrying, and the parry also just feels good to do. I think that it's something that you would probably be able to handle.
right.
So let me ask a question. Why did they make this an exclusive? This doesn't seem like a
Money.
game that would be worth even the
I mean, there you go. They
exclusivity rights.
It's
There
not
you
worth
go.
it either way, so why not make
Yeah.
it?
Ooh,
I was like,
ouch.
yeah, we don't. They know it's not the most popular game, so they're like, we don't have to put it on Xbox, but Sony probably also sweetened the pot a little bit too. So I was like, yeah, it's not the most popular, but at the
Did
same
Sony
time,
did Sony actually do that? Did they actually pay money to make it exclusive or what?
I feel like they did, unless Wolong just didn't hit the numbers they wanted to hit. But I know the Neo games are still exclusive to PlayStation, aren't they? I think they are. So I know they're on PC as well, but I don't think any of the Neo games are on
Because
Xbox.
I think Wolong was the first, other than like original Ninja Gaiden, was like the first Team Ninja game in recent memory that went to Xbox, and it went to Game Pass. So like, good for them. But
Is it on PC, Rise of Ronin? Or is it exclusively on PlayStation?
I think it's exclusively on Plet
They didn't port it to Steam either. Wow. that's
Let
pretty-
me double check.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure. I just let me see.
That seems like an interesting decision, even for like the developer. I mean,
As
Go ahead.
long as they're happy with the money they're making. Not everyone aims to be
Yeah,
the
no,
biggest.
the platform is only PS5.
oh wow,
Mm.
that's amazing. That's amazing.
There,
What
there is one thing that is a major head scratcher for me with the game, is that it was kind of advertised as a co-op game you can play with your friends, but the thing is, you can't play the whole game co-op.
What
There's
the-
only specific missions that you can
Okay.
play
Really?
cooperatively. The open world, you have to play by yourself. So you can go and select a story mission, and then you can do that with either random people or your friend. But after you're done with that mission, that's it. Like, they did that mission with you, the story mission, and then everything else you're going to do by yourself till the next story mission comes around.
That's
So
interesting.
it's a weird thing of like, I was under the impression that I was going to hop in my friend's game, like something like a Far Cry, and we're going to tackle the whole fucking world,
No.
but no. So
Enjoy
like, we're at
playing
this
by
point,
yourself.
yeah, that's what
no
we're just we're playing by
friends.
ourselves.
Well,
You don't have
usually
friends
playing
anyway.
He's usually playing with himself, so that's okay. That sort of fits. Anyhow,
Wish I could, sir. God damn it.
well,
So,
Okay,
that
anyone else have
that definitely is.
anyone else
Yeah.
have anything to say with this game before we move on? I guess.
No.
It's just Ghost of Tsushima. No, I'm joking.
Okay, so I do want to start off with a couple of things that are not necessarily game related. A couple of things came out this week in movie dumb or TV show dumb, if you
Epidum?
will. Yeah. First of which was the preview trailer for Alien Romulus.
That looked
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Hell
baby.
yeah.
So pretty hype. Everyone was liked it pretty well, or what?
yeah, that looked
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but then again, I don't
Yeah,
really
I'll
watch
have to
movies
see
like
it.
that.
I
so-
haven't seen it yet, so-
It definitely
Right.
goes back to like leaning heavily on the horror side of things, like the original Alien.
Yep.
And man, that scene of the freaking face huggers is blasting through that damn wall, running down the hallway. It's like, nope, fuck that, fuck that.
Fuck
Fuck
that.
that
Game
shit
over,
out.
man. Game over.
It's game over, man.
Game over, man. Who's directing it? Is it really Scott directing this, or
shit,
is he just
No, Ridley
producer?
Scott's producing, which honestly at this point is probably for the best. The guy that's directing is the same guy that directed Don't Breathe.
Oh,
and a
Peel.
couple
Yeah,
other horror
yeah,
movies.
actually,
Peel?
okay.
No, not
No,
Peel.
not Peel, no.
Hispanic guy. But he did Don't Breathe.
Don't
and
Breathe
a
is really
couple of-
good.
Yeah, I'll look it up real quick.
That's
Talk
the
amongst
game. That's the
yourselves.
movie with what's his name in it, right? The guy who played in The Office.
What?
Is that the guy?
Actually, several
Don't
people
Breathe. Or
do
am I looking at things? No, that was A Quiet Place. I'm sorry. I said Don't Breathe. Quiet
Yeah,
Place.
that was a
also.
quiet place.
No, there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Fede Alvarez, he directed Don't Breathe. He directed the Evil Dead remake. He directed The Girl in the Spider's Web. Don't Breathe 2. The one thing that there is a kind of knock on his resume is he directed that Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie that went to fucking Netflix.
Oh, that
Oh,
didn't
or
go
whatever.
okay.
well.
The one where they're like, "You're canceled."
Everyone's
as he's
allowed
fucking
one
chewing up
miss.
people with a fucking chainsaw on a bus.
Everyone's
But yeah,
allowed one miss.
outside,
you guys.
outside of that, Mr. Alvarez, his resume is pretty good in my opinion.
It looked pretty good. I was interested in Praxis. Did you see
Yeah.
it? Did you get a
No,
chance to see it?
I did not.
What?
Okay.
Slacking.
Check it out. I mean, it's just a
No,
teaser,
he-
so it's very
Praxis-
short, but you get the
Praxis
vibe
probably
right
doesn't want
away.
to have to change his shorts. So,
Horror movies they scare the hell out of me. Good God. No.
Well, we also got the previews for Beetlejuice, which is the the sequel to Beetlejuice. So yeah,
it is
that's-
really. Is that why it's called that? Wow.
Well, I guess the third one's gonna be called Beetlejuice. Yeah, there you go.
And then
So-
we'll just summon.
Yep, and that will be the reason he will be in your house or something like that. But yeah, it looked interesting. Anyone get a chance to see it?
Yeah, it looks like dog shit. Moving on.
I was being polite when I said it looked interesting. Okay, so there you go.
It looks like shit. And honestly, him and the makeup is just like,
He doesn't
know.
need the makeup to be Beetlejuice anymore. I mean, his look like man is old as fuck now. He can be Beetlejuice without the makeup, right? So, so Michael Keaton. So
yeah. But I mean, it was like Alien Romulus. It was, again, it's like a teaser, but like it was like, hey, remember the bridge from Beetlejuice? Hey, it's here. Hey, remember the school from Beetlejuice? Hey, it's here. Hey, remember the attic from Beetlejuice? It's
what is
here.
So it's memory berries. It's the memory.
That's what the, that's what,
Memories,
that's what the
memories,
teaser was. Yeah.
memories.
Like it doesn't really give you anything substantive. It's just the entire teaser is member berries of locations and people, and then the only word spoken in the entire fucking teaser is the juice is loose.
oh god,
Oh,
that's
no.
fucking cringe, dude. Oh my god,
That
don't tell me
sounds-
they did that. Oh my god.
very bad.
And Michael
Hey,
Keaton, they
baby,
paid that
it's
poor
loose.
man to say that shit.
Oh.
Oh God.
Oh my god. Yeah, we're gonna wait till. Oh, we're not gonna wait. We're not gonna wait.
We'll wait till. Actually, I'm not watching it. Also,
All right, next.
That's a wait for streaming for me.
I'm not even gonna wait for stream. I'm just gonna say, okay, it was a thing. It happened in the '80s, and that's the only one that mattered. So yeah, I mean, okay.
I don't
okay,
even think Tim Burton's involved in this one either. And it's like, well, fucking, then
Yeah, what's the
what
point?
are we doing here?
right.
What are we doing here anyway?
why are we still here?
I mean,
Just a
the
second.
first one was good, but it was very campy.
Oh no, he is directing. No, yeah, he's directing
No,
this one. Okay,
But even the first one, like it was good and it became successful as the years progressed. It wasn't one of those things that were like was a commercial success on launch. So I think it was even Beetlejuice. I think it was just a product of its time that okay, it did well.
It very much is.
Yeah, and some things just do not translate well.
Like, listen, I don't want to see a fucking CG sandworm. Like the fucking stop motion animation and all that shit that's very much a product of its time is part of the charm of Beetlejuice. We're gonna have this modernized CG fest bullshit, and it's gonna be like, all right. I mean, even when they went to the underworld, Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis, like everything is practical sets. That's gonna be gone. I don't see that being a thing anymore. And it's not gonna feel the same. It's like just leave it alone. Leave him alone. Make something new, Tim.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. You know,
Agreed.
well, I mean, he fucked up Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, so he fucked up.
But that's
fucked up.
probably the worst movie
Not as
that
bad as that
ever.
AI guy did.
Oh, that movie was horrible.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
fucking,
Well, you guys, you liked the new Wonka and didn't like that one. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to disagree with both of you.
No, the new one was good. I mean, it was like, first of all, it was a prequel, right? And it was more of a musical than anything else.
well, I mean, so was
So that's
Willy
already
Wonka and the
a
Chocolate
downside to me.
Factory.
But the third one, the one that Burton made, was
That movie wouldn't have been as bad. Like it had all the whimsy and everything that you would expect for that world. It was just Johnny Depp's performance as Willy Wonka was just fucking awkward as shit. And I was like, why is he talking like that? I'm like, it's fucking, what are we doing here? It was weird. That's the only thing about the movie I don't like is really that.
No, I didn't even like the Oompa Loompas. I mean, the Oompa Loompas were just
Yeah,
wrong. Yeah, I'm like,
yeah.
it's not really an Oompa Loompa. You know, it's like,
I mean, it is.
The one because it was one actor.
Have you been to Loompa Land? How the fuck you know the Oompa Loompa is?
this is the southern Oompa Loompas. Those are the northern Oompa Loompas. There you go. So yeah, there we go. Now, I mean, it was what it is. So, anyhow, next one, something that came out this week, Star Wars Acolyte. They showed preview trailers.
Wait, is that the one with the same black hairstyle that they've been overusing in like so many different things now? Oh my god,
That hairstyle.
that's the
that
only
we all
part I
hate.
saw in the trailer. I was just like, yeah, I've seen it. I'm good.
What
So
that
I
is,
just want to give Cozy some good news. Hey, Cozy, I just set up an interview with the guy who played Crumb Skull.
Without the guy who played who?
Crumb Skull. Did you ever
What?
watch those movies?
Yes. What? What day?
Wednesday.
Crumb
It'll be
Skull?
Wednesday evening.
Promises.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
cool.
I
Anyway-
knew Cozy's into horror like I am, so I knew she'd like
Oh
that.
yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
I'm terrible with horror.
I have
I'm
to
so
come
horror.
up with some questions to ask.
No, I love horror, but I don't know Crumb Skull though.
Crumb
Because you don't
Skull.
love horror.
Look it up,
How
dude. Look
dare
up. Crumb.
you.
He was in 2 movies, and yeah, look at this. So, and the guy's name is Nick Filippi,
Oh my god.
or Principe. Excuse me, Prince. Yeah. So, because we've been following his shit on Twitter for like over a year.
Yeah, I never seen these movies.
I was just taking my time reaching out to him, and I finally did. Now he's like, "Sure, absolutely," because he knows because we always are chatting back and forth. So
Oh, cool. Well, I mean, yeah.
So do you do like a podcast sort of like revolving horror?
what's that?
Do you do like a horror
Wow.
podcast?
Well, we do for GQ TV. We do interviews, dude.
Oh,
I've
yeah, I'll
interviewed.
talk
We've
about
interviewed. I've interviewed a lot of directors and writers, like the guys, especially a few of them. The guy who did Brooklyn 45 this last year, he's up there too.
Hmm.
I've been a busy boy, but yeah, I line up all
You
of
say
our.
it like that.
I line up. Well, no,
busy
dude, I
boy
line up
is-
all of our.
I
horror interviews
swear.
because
Well,
I'm-
we have a celebrity in our midst here, so yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
will anyhow.
Yeah.
But okay, Acolytes. Anyone see it? Anyone interested in it?
Of
or is it
course,
just
dude. Anyone in jail?
I'm
God,
not a Star
yes.
Wars fan, so.
Get
No.
out.
I know it's High
Okay,
Republic, so
okay.
it's like a period that we really haven't seen on film before, but it didn't feel like Star
It's
Wars
dog
to
shit.
me.
It looks like dog
It
shit.
felt
Why?
like it was a lot of kung fu shit
It's a
that
bunch
like
of crap. It's
yeah, and
Why was
then
Kung Fu
the worst part
horrible.
is Carrie Ann Moss is in it, and it's like, why would you do that to Trinity? God damn it!
yeah.
Oh.
It's just
Because it's
a
a paycheck for her. That's why she. It's not like they forced these actors to do this stuff. You will do this movie. Okay. No.
Well, I mean, so there are times when they got like 3 picture contracts and they've already done 2, and they
Yeah,
wanna have,
well,
like, nah, you're gonna be in that dog shit movie.
Well,
before
those
your
aren't as
contract's
common
up."
as they used to be in the
Oh,
in the
no, yeah,
studio
no.
days. Those were
For sure.
real common. Yeah.
for sure.
All right. Well,
I
staying
don't
with
know.
the Star Wars theme, they announced during the whole NVIDIA showcase this week a new Star Wars game fronted by Amy. Not a Star Wars game. It was a new Marvel
no,
game.
yeah, that was
Fronted
Marvel
by Amy
1943.
Henig.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Sorry, I was.
Yeah,
I got
hold
this
up.
wrong.
Wait a
Twisted.
minute.
Marvel. It was the rise of. Isn't it called the rise of
According to
Hydra or
Kotaku.
something?
Yeah,
According to
19,
Kotaku, yeah.
Marvel
Captain America
1943.
1943. Yeah.
It doesn't say Captain America, which is also kind of ballsy for them to not put Captain America or Black Panther in the title. The game is just called Marvel 1943: The Rise of Hydra. That's kind of ballsy.
It's kinda
Actually, I think
stupid, but it's okay.
that may have been pretty smart though. Actually,
I mean, you got two of them, so it's like, well, if you choose Captain, what about Black Panther? What you trying to say, man? We're not going to play it. And you use, the other way around.
It
Like, what you
looked
trying to
pretty
say?
cool. I mean, true enough, it's probably all CGI, but it looked.
Yeah, the visuals were pretty nice. Yeah, they're pretty nice.
But I mean, it is running in real time, and Amy
had
Henig passed with Naughty Dog. Like usually, the game looked pretty damn close to what the cutscenes were, at least in the case of Uncharted. So I don't really see her showing us that and having the game not look at least somewhat that good. All I know is that that for me is now the best character models and facial animations I've seen in the video game.
I'm gonna be that guy, and it's like I need to see some gameplay. I like the visuals, but
For sure.
I therefore want the gameplay to knock my socks off.
Amy Henig, claim to fame was the whole Legacy of Kain series, right? And she then pivoted into Naughty Dog and doing the whole Uncharted series. And she's really good with those story-driven type of games and, corridor type games and stuff like that. So it's going to be, I guess that's going to be the same thing like this game over here. Like it's going to be more of a single-player, story-driven, more corridor, not less open-worldy thing. I presume that's what she does. And but I like what she does. I mean, in the sense that I love the Legacy of Kain series, and of course, Uncharted goes without saying.
Oh, me too. Some of the matches he had against the Undertaker were incredible. Oh wait,
this guy.
It's the Big Red Machine.
Not that fucking Kain. God damn it!
That just brings me back to that whole Dragon's Dogma drop kick, and I was like, "Watch out! He just drop kick." I'm like,
Man,
he's gonna do the tombstone on you.
the
He's gonna do the
Attitude Era.
tombstone. Yeah. But yeah, so that game was a thing. So they announced that. So that looked pretty good. I mean, it was interesting, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, Amy Henig also said like her whole like goal in life is to create a game that's completely melding, riding the line between film and game. So with that, I would imagine that it's going to be basically Uncharted with Captain America and Black Panther.
It's not necessarily a bad thing per se.
No, that's not a negative for me. I'm just saying that, like, I don't see it being anything like open world or something. I think it's going to be very, very linear because she's focusing on the story, on the narrative, not a whole lot of control in our hands. But again, not a negative. I enjoy those games. I love the entire Uncharted series. I'm just saying that I wouldn't expect anything outside of that.
And I mean, to be honest with you, like I don't think every game has to be open world anymore. I'm like why?
Yes, open world is the only reason to exist. All games should be open world. Even
is Rotato open world?
Yeah, Rotato could be improved with open world and fishing.
But it's not.
Everything is better with fishing and cats, right? Fishing, cats, and open world. everything needs to be open world. And goddamn it, let us pet the
there's
cats.
all those cats you have to pet and fucking Rise of Ronin. There's a couple that are calicos.
Pet your cat.
And you have to sneak up on them. You can't tell the difference between them and regular cats because all you hear is the fucking meowing and purring. And fucking if you scare them, they run away. It's like, you son of a bitch.
You should have kicked them. Can you kick them?
No.
Don't kick a cat, dude. No.
Don't tell me there's a fucking achievement unlocked with that thing like it was.
I mean, Cozy, I can't kick anything.
Yeah, this is true, yeah.
I would make the cats kickable.
I remember I was home from the hospital, like not even a month after my accident, like, new to being in a wheelchair and everything. And like, I would always say, to my sister, like we would talk about like scary movies and monsters. And I'd be like, fuck that thing. I'll just kick it in the face. Like Chucky, I'm like fucking scared of Chucky, but fuck that thing. I'll kick it in the face. Stuff like that. So I'd come home from the hospital. We were just having a conversation out in the back patio. And I forgot what we were talking about, but I said again, like, yeah, fuck that thing. I just kick it in the face. And without even hesitation, my mom just looks at me and goes, how?
Oh my god!
Oh shit! I laughed hard as fuck. I was like, oh my god!
Dang, you right.
I love you, mom.
Oh my god, when your mom fucking
She's like,
trolls you, I mean that where do you go from there, right? So there you go. Yeah. But anyhow. All right, so next, Larian Studio came out and said, yeah, there's not going to be anything Baldur's Gate coming from us anytime soon or anytime in the future for that matter. No 4, no nothing, etc. But they are making a new game and it's going to dwarf the size of Baldur's Gate 3 according to the CEO or whatever of the development house. So yeah, so what do y'all think? This is like they sort of like passed the baton back to Wizards of the Coast and they're like, yeah, now it's your IP. Do what the fuck you want to do with it. We're done.
I feel like that's
sorta.
fine.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
I
Wizards of the
honestly-
Coast could screw it up, so that's fine. That's
Yeah, they'll mess it up definitely.
One thing
Yeah.
that I kind of like. Someone said like it'd be like I just hope that their next game is something that I'm interested in. So far, I haven't liked any of their games.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see if they stay true to their like RPG elements or are they just going to go totally like open world as you like it or whatever, you know?
They're gonna we're gonna make it Elden Ring 2.
Yeah, they're gonna make video games, or they're just gonna keep being nerds.
Well, you know, it's if when you are an expert at a certain game style,
Oh, for
like
sure,
why
for sure.
play? You know, like why if it ain't broke, why fix it? Type of situation, right? So, and there is a market for it, so why not?
Everything about their games checks off lists, except I just don't like their games.
Well, I mean, yeah,
Isn't that a big thing on the list? I'm
That's
just
kind of a
asking, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does everything I want, but I just don't like it. Explain.
Can you
Yeah,
guys have
where's
a
a
potato? I mean, I
potato?
really prefer that.
Oh well, I mean they deserve it. I mean, like if there's any development house that you know can pivot from one thing to another, I would say them. I mean they do pretty good games. I mean for what they make, and I think they know what they're good at, and I don't think they're gonna rock the boat too much because Baldur's Gate 3
Rock the
pretty
boat,
much
rock the boat,
was
baby.
the same type of game that they've been making just with a D&D skin to it. And people
I just think they shouldn't go around saying shit like, "Oh, it's gonna dwarf Baldur's Gate 3," because Baldur's Gate 3, first of all, was in development for how long? It was in the early
Yeah.
access
6
for
years.
years, and then you
It's
know,
gonna dwarf more
so,
20 years later.
yeah,
2 years,
like-
2 years early access. I know because I paid for it 2 years before it released and forgot I paid for it.
and then
Yeah.
so how many is it? Is it 6 years total, or is it 6 plus 2?
I think it was 6 years total.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a lot. That's shit, man. It's almost 10
Yeah.
years. So, you know, if it's gonna dwarf Baldur's Gate 3, like I don't know, I don't say anything. Just make your next game. Like you don't. They don't have to say anything. It's like you just made a Game of the Year winning game.
Yeah, if
You've
you
gotten
start
gotten
saying-
all the
yeah.
flowers, all the
Yeah.
accolades. You don't need to
Yep.
say anything. You are now that Larian. You are that Larian. Whatever
wouldn't-
game you
I
make
wouldn't
next.
say
You gotta
that
be
anyway,
from
yeah.
software. From software just put out a banger. Just like, yeah, we'll talk to y'all later. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, plus I wouldn't say that anyway because that raises expectations. I mean, Baldur's Gate
For
3
sure.
is humongous. You
Right.
know?
Right.
It's like, what are they going to do next? It's going to be so big, you actually need to have 2 consoles to run the bitch.
and that comment, no one's gonna forget that comment. Everyone's
Yeah.
gonna
Mhm.
everyone's gonna remember. Oh, it's supposed to dwarf Baldur's Gate 3. That's what people are gonna remember. They'll never forget
Yep.
that.
Plus, the
Yeah.
problem is, it's like very open statement, like bigger how in terms of the world
Yeah.
size, the gameplay mechanics. You know, it's
Yes.
yes, Your Honor. No.
Oh,
Anyone
well,
want to take up the challenge by the future? I'll donate $10 if someone says a slur bruh. Okay, a slur bruh. There you go.
What?
He says I'll pay $10 if somebody says a slur bruh. So I said a
Say
slur
a
bruh.
slur, bruh.
A
slur, bruh. What's a slur,
What's-
bruh?
No, I have no
Uh,
idea, but I just said I need
I,
$10.
I
Well,
think
is
what it
that-
means is I'll pay you $10 to say a slur, brah.
Okay, so I'm gonna say no. I don't want to get.
There you go. Got one out.
I walked up to the
No.
guy and told him, "No, I'm not gonna say no."
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
miss living. I don't miss living
Wait,
in San
what?
Diego and having everybody walk up to me and call me a bra. What up, bra?
What?
Dude, no.
What up, Brusky?
Maybe he's from Hawaii.
I have
No,
need for more
dude, in the
whiskey.
90s, everybody in San Diego, the surf speak was bra. It wasn't
Yep.
bro, it was
Bra.
bra.
Yep, bro.
It was,
Hey, bro.
geez.
What's up,
bruh,
Yeah.
You know. All right.
I mean, Wise probably needed a bra back then, but
I still need a bra now. So what's the thing? Just because they're skinnier or flatter doesn't mean they still don't walk.
Wait. So wait. Say a slur,
Yes.
bruh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. To make it
Say
more
a
normal.
slur.
Hey, I'll pay you $10 to
Space.
say a slur, bro.
Say a slur space, bro. No.
What
And I
if?
said spaghetti bender. I threw it out there.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Do you say
Wow.
I said spaghetti bender, you Italian freak.
Yeah, they're
I'm gonna-
slanting as a
I'm gonna-
Capcom need to get their shit.
I'm gonna
more
tell
together.
clowns you said that. We got people, man.
I was gonna.
We
I was
got
just gonna
people.
tweet. I was just gonna tweet him right now with it.
We got people, man. We got.
Well, I don't have a slur, but I do have a joke. You know why why Indian women have that red dot in the middle of their forehead, right? When they get married, so that when the husband marries him, he can scratch it off and sees whether he won a gas station, a Subway, or a taxi cab.
What about the 7-Elevens, man? What's going on?
Yeah, cover my disappointment when I scratched it off and he didn't get shit. I'm like, fuck it, you know. Anyhow, all right. So yeah, there's your slur. Next thing on the docket, Connie Booth, used to be former PlayStation.
And that's the one who helped
person.
helped John Cleese write Faulty Towers, right?
No, not that Connie Booth.
Not
Other
that
Connie
Connie
Fucking John, please.
She was been hired by EA and now she's working she's over BioWare and what's that Motive Studios and stuff like there's another one I don't remember, but yeah, BioWare was the famous one that she is now helm over. So yeah, that's the thing.
Connie Booth.
Oh.
What about Boothie Khan?
Well,
that's a different person. Yeah, that's a
where's the girls in the thumbnail? Well, Cozy, there you go. That's the girl in the thumbnail. That's one of the girls, which I don't know which one she is, but she's one of them. So there you go. And the other one
It
is
was clickbait, bitch.
and no, the other one is Supa. It's we don't know which one it is. And the third one is me when you catch me on a Friday night working the streets for cash. So there you go.
Yeah, show us them titty. Oh.
See, this is why we don't get sponsors.
Hey, a man's got to do what a man's got to do. Those bills got to get paid. Those kids got to eat. I'm sorry to say.
Hey, $10 is $10, man. You know, it's
This is true.
Oh my gosh.
I need $50 to make you a holla. I get paid to do the wild thing.
They're paying you to do that. Actually, shit. See, you do the wild thing. I'll pay for it too. That must be an interesting situation to watch.
Hey, baby. Love you
yeah,
long time.
Oh shit! All right. Nobody has anything fucking to say about Connie Booth going over BioWare. Maybe she can make a
I don't
fucking
even know
decent
who the
game with
fuck
them.
Connie Booth is.
she was just one of the
She was over
executives.
PlayStation. She was working. She was one of the CEO. Well, not CEOs, but one of the
What is she
management
like
team in
responsible for?
PlayStation.
No, well, she basically left right after Ryan did. That was during that when they were cleaning house over there. So,
Right.
No. Okay.
Well, the next thing before we get to our final topic.
So
the next
since we're not monetized, I'll just say it. She was Ryan's bitch. I mean,
Okay, I'm going up deep in. It won't hurt.
yeah.
Spent more
So
than 30 years
you know
under
Bill
Ryan.
Clinton and you know Monica Lewinsky. You know that relationship. Okay, Connie Booth, Jim Ryan. Analogies.
Is that why he
Bill
was always
Clinton
asking us
is to remember back in the day with the SAT analogies. Bill Clinton is to what was that fucking girl's name? I just said it too.
Bleep, bleep, every goddamn week.
Monica Lewinsky.
Yeah, Bill Clinton is to Monica Lewinsky as Jim
Ryan
Ryan
is
is
to
to
Connie
Connie
Booth is to
Connie
got
Booth.
it.
Oh my
Got
gosh.
it. All right.
Yeah.
Damn it.
What?
All I know is that he said Connie's cat likes to smoke cigars.
That's all I gotta say.
That's it, Your Honor. No.
And we're talking about a bald cat. All right. Anyhow, next, Antoria. They canceled the Xbox version. There's a game. It's a Souls-like, and apparently it was coming out for Xbox, and
Is that
they
the game that's
canceled
made
it.
by the makers of Quantum Error?
No.
No.
No. I just I can't. continue with the topic. I'm sorry.
Well, IGN made a big fucking stink about it, and they're like, "Oh my god, they're jumping ship from Xbox. Look at Antoria. There was a developer. They had a game for Xbox, and now they canceled it.
It looks bad. It definitely looks bad because apparently it was on Xbox's showcase, I think, or it was just an Xbox trailer hosted on their account. It looks bad. Like, oh, here's this game, and their response is like to ensure. I understand you don't want to split the dev time,
Maybe
but
they
it looks bad.
That it looks bad, and the best hope of saving it is getting some attention by being like, well, let's not do an Xbox version.
I guess, yeah.
So basically, they went on the showcase. Everyone shat all over the game because it looked like ass, and then they canceled the Xbox version because the Xbox fanboys were like, "Yeah, this looks like fucking ass, and we don't want it." And they said, "Okay, fine." And
if anything, by the numbers, there'll be more people on PlayStation that say it looks like ass because they got the more numbers. But
now you were saying, Cerebral, what did you say?
What's bad about this is now if it comes out for PlayStation and PC and it still looks like ass. Then what's going to be their excuse?
PC had too many specs, so it's.
If it looks like that now, it's probably going to look like that when the shit releases.
Yeah.
It's like you PlayStation fans are used to playing these graphically intense games. Why don't you play something that's a little bit less graphically intense? Here you go. There you go. So they're trying to appeal to a market. That's what I'm trying to make you understand. Not everyone wants to play a game that looks really good. Some people want to play some games that looks like straight ass.
People with cataracts got to play games too.
They're called retro gamers, man.
Honestly, no, I think there's some things like a game can look old and still look good, but that game, it's just congratulations, you made a game.
What's it called?
Damn.
Antoria?
I need to check out this trailer.
Entoria.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't really know about this game until this news came out.
That's why I'm saying. That's why they canceled it. That's why they canceled the Xbox version to get some attention.
Legit.
That was exactly the same fucking thing. I looked at that game. I'm like, that's a fucking game. I'm like, shit.
Yeah,
that's like Italian or something.
Yeah. I saw an article yesterday or today with the game featuring Will Smith and his survival game is getting bad, lousy reviews, and I'm like, what game with Will Smith? What are we talking about? I'm not. Everybody's posting the thing, going, "What are they talking about? We never even heard of it."
Yeah, you see it, and you're like, "What the hell? Who? Antoria?
Oh my god, man! I don't want to get too far, but me and my brother, we were laughing so hard
name
because
out your fucking mouth.
Man, yeah. So I'm looking at the trailer now. I'm just like, it's a Souls game,
If I'm being honest, it doesn't look terrible. I mean, there's other games like Mortal Shell, other Souls-like games that aren't super.
Yeah, I'm thinking
they look like this. I mean, it looks fine, but like, if anyone's gonna go around and be like, "Oh, fucking PlayStation exclusive," fucking who gives? Nobody's gonna give a shit about this game. It's not gonna sell 15, 20 million copies. Like, it's a game.
But but Supa, you know why they did this, right? This article is just
it's rage bait.
It's rage bait, basically. You know what it is for. I mean that.
But that's how I think that's what they did on purpose, because they want that, because that was the only way this game was going to get any sort of attention, even sell.
Think about it. I'd never heard of this fucking game, and now everyone's talking about this game.
Yeah. And how many people are going to hop on it? But I don't know, when it comes to, I have to check out the IGN article.
This game was like Mike Jones to me. Who? Mike Jones? Who?
Mike Jones. I think the problem is, and of course, this is only, you're just speculating, just talking, but not saying every major publisher is going to do it, but it's another notch on this looks bad for Xbox. Like, this is the first time a game has skipped the platform, and it's going to continue to skip the platform. It looks bad. That's all I can say. Like, it's not going to kill the platform by any means, but it's still a bad look for the brand, especially after you put your games elsewhere, and it was like, yeah, but we're still skipping you.
But no, you don't know. I mean, you say it's bad, but we don't know why they canceled it, right? There was no definitive reason. They didn't just come out and say, "Oh, we're fucking not developing on the Xbox because the Xbox is ass."
It's irrelevant.
So the way that they put it is that regarding the release on Xbox, we decided in the interest of ensuring a superior experience for PC and PlayStation 5 players to reassess the possibility of an Xbox release. So it sounds like, hey, if we want the game to run well on
that whole comment though is a big
platforms.
fuck you. It's like, listen,
Well,
if they can have a good gaming experience, we decided to say, fuck you, you don't get to play it. Like,
so, and I know
so
there's
the talking heads are jumping to it's got to be the Series S. You know, it's got to be that old Series S.
No,
but that's what some of them are saying. That's where they're jumping because it's an easy thing to blame because it's an easy thing to blame. You know, that's why.
Yeah, I think, and I'm sure, I don't know the studio size, but I'm sure a lot of people could argue, well, it's a small studio, so of course they got to dial back where they put the platform or where they publish their games. That's just, as they said, to ensure it's good everywhere else. But it's still just, to make sure the PS5 guys and the PC guys get a good time. Fuck y'all. Okay.
Well, you know why
like,
they
listen,
did it.
they're flying first class. You're in coach. They get soda. You get water. Shut the fuck up, and you're gonna like it.
In hindsight, water is better for you. You know.
It's just, I don't know. That statement. It's seriously. I don't know what the whole point of that statement was, but for me, if I was an Xbox centric gamer, it would seriously be like they just told me to go fuck myself.
Yeah. It's a lot like who was that company earlier this year that turned out that crap game after they were talking shit about Xbox?
Sequel
Yeah.
to
The quantum era.
Yeah,
It
that
wasn't-
one.
I don't know
Yeah,
the
that
studio
one.
name, but yeah,
That shitty ass firefighter game that looked like dog shit.
they were. I forgot exactly what they said, but you're right, Paul.
But they were
saying
talking some serious shit, and
Yeah.
you know,
Oh yeah, and they were
Wait,
trying to
wait,
harness
hold
the
on,
power
hold
of
on,
the
hold on.
PS5.
yeah.
It's
What
they were
power?
saying some shit like it's only impossible on the PS5. It's something like we were
Yeah.
saying before with the load times and shit.
Bro,
But if you,
It was
Oh my
PS3
gosh.
level fucking shit, dude. I don't know what the hell. They
It reminds me again for what was it? This is I'm probably going off topic a bit, but what was that game they showed off that was like it was an Epic Games launch exclusive and it was on PS4, PS5. I was like, yeah, we can't put it on PS4 because the PS5.
Godfall?
Yeah, Godfall. Then I was like, yeah, so there's a PS4 version coming out.
and
and an Xbox version. Yeah, I'm
and
just
the
like,
Xbox.
oh
I was like,
my
I'm pretty sure they
God.
have a. You know, it's like weird. It's like because I think sometimes they say that because like let's eke out some extra sales because of that instead of just being like you know what
I
game?
guess.
One of my most anticipated games this year that's coming out, Broken Roads. Yes, it's like a CRPG that 5 people will play, including me, and or hopefully
But
more
you'll
than
love
5.
it, and that's all. that matters.
But
When
guess what? It's coming out on Xbox.
So if their goal is to try to get more sales, I don't know. Maybe the fanboys out there would be like, "I'm gonna one up this developer because they're sticking to the other crowd." But I'm just like, is it really going to increase sales? Like,
No,
if
man,
people
listen,
weren't
it
already,
does. It gets
the
them
fanboys are going
attention.
to talk about
Yeah,
it, but the
and
people
I
that are
guess-
talking about it aren't going to buy it. So
Yeah,
it's
so
like,
like
it's a
fanboys,
moot
as
point.
we've seen the numbers. Fanboys aren't buying stuff. But it's advertisement. That's what
Yeah.
it is. It
Yeah.
gets that
for the
advertisement.
Souls like guys like me who's like, oh,
But
this looks like a
the
Souls
point
game.
though
I don't
goes,
know,
it's like
but-
since it's not multi-platform, it's advertisement for what? Because casuals aren't going to buy the shit.
yeah, you're
It's
already going with the
advertisement to like
low-
people who it's advertisement to a small group of people who
Oh
would
my
have never
gosh.
otherwise heard of it and who will go out and buy
What
it
is his name? I
or
gotta look
talk
into
about it.
What is his name?
If no one knows your game exists, then your game doesn't exist.
And
So-
it's hard for me to believe that
Put that shit on a
PlayStation
fortune
actually
cookie,
gave
Cody.
them some money to make
They
it exclusive.
probably didn't. They probably just made it exclusive
No,
because
yeah.
they were going to make a negligible
Top-notch.
amount on Xbox anyway. So
Mhm.
it was easy
Well,
enough
if you're
to
gonna
already.
make it if you're gonna release this shit on PC and you're basically making all these different variants because you're making it on the PC, why not put it on the Xbox? It's just
And
more.
it's- yeah.
Because
That's
it's
definitely
a
a question
negligent
to
amount
be-
of money and they can just advertise like it's not on
They
the Xbox
said-
because we're prioritizing these other platforms.
they
It's
were
easier.
like, we were during the showcase reveal, they were still talking about Game Pass, and Microsoft were like, nah, yeah, ain't worth it. It's like, well, shit, we're taking our game elsewhere, then I guess,
And maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was supposed to be a Game Pass game that they said, "Fuck it, we're not gonna pay you this shit."
Phil
because-
won't give us a bag.
Yeah. Right.
yeah. Oh my
Like, have you
gosh,
seen
yeah.
your fucking game? Like, seriously, like, dude, come on.
I mean,
Uh,
like,
yeah.
it doesn't look that
It's-
bad. I mean, like I said,
It
looks
doesn't
fine.
like it looks
Graphically, it's fine.
Yeah, what I saw, it looks
How does it play?
okay. That's the question: is how does it play? As you said,
That's what I was
Supa,
asked.
it does give me Mortal Shell vibes in terms of that level of production value.
Like a double A Souls-like. Nothing
yeah. I'm not.
But like,
it's not Liza. It's not gonna be a Liza P. I mean, maybe it could end up like a Liza P, but yeah, it looks okay. But
and I think what's going to happen is like they're going to release it on PlayStation and PC, and they're going to get like a little blip or whatever, and then like maybe 6 months later, now on Xbox and Torio.
Go fuck yourself edition.
I mean, maybe but even then when they said we got to evaluate making an Xbox version, I question like, is this where like, maybe we can squeeze a little bit more out on the Xbox side, or it is like, well, shit, we didn't make money on PlayStation or PC. I guess we're not going to make an Xbox. Yeah, we're not making an Xbox version because I highly doubt we're going to make it there too. So it looks
so formulaic. For the trailer I saw, it looked so formulaic, and it just didn't seem like there was.
I was just waiting to see a bonfire. I don't think I saw a bonfire or anything like that. But I don't know. I'm just getting hung up on like we had it on our showcase and they said, "Fuck, we're leaving." Oh my gosh, that's just,
oh god, truth is stranger than fiction, dude. That's all I gotta say. Truth is fucking stranger than fiction, dude. It's
man, it was hilarious. Yeah.
All right, so let's get into our main topic tonight.
Your mom?
You mean the one that's dead? Yeah, that one. Okay, go.
How do her ashes feel?
The one that's in the Stanley Cup. Yeah, that's fine.
He's got some real use out of that one.
You found some use out of that thing, huh?
Yeah, we didn't
protect
buy
her
no,
ashes
just put her
for
in the
all
Stanley
time.
Cup. Yeah. She's gonna outlast all of us now that she's in the Stanley Cup.
Since it's pink, bonus points if she died of breast cancer. No, I'm kidding.
God! Paul, you are terrible at the best possible way.
What is this? A shaving ape. We've been wondering what is this for now 33 episodes. But so if you can clue us in what the fuck this is, please let us know because none of us know what the fuck this is yet.
I'm sorry, man. Yeah, that's just.
By the way, anybody who knows me knows that my goal every night is to get everybody to go, "What the fuck?"
You exceeded your our wildest expectations.
I'm so fucking headed on. So no.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm gonna type in. We're wondering the same.
Your master song. You can't go wrong. I'm sorry.
Hi, my name's Mike. I've been fucked in the head for 8 months.
We're wondering the same.
So the next topic, my good sir, what are we talking about?
All right, so this week it seems like anybody was talking about the freaking PS5 Pro leaks, and that was the big topic of this week. Interesting enough, Digital Foundry corroborated all of the leaks and said that it's gonna have the same CPU, and it's gonna be maybe 10% faster, and it's gonna have
which will match the Series X basically,
CPU wise, yeah. And then the GPU is gonna do some sort of fucking flop thing, whatever.
Super teraflippies.
And they came out and said, and we all know why they're doing this. We all know the main reason PlayStation is releasing this fucking console this year, even though they've come on record and say, yeah, we have no fucking games to capitalize on this game console, but yeah, we're gonna release a console.
What's that game that we just talked about that I totally forgot? But hey, they got that coming on the PlayStation. Yeah, get your credit.
They're doing it for this is the best place to play in Tori. Exactly. Oh god. No, they're doing it for GTA 6, and then Digital Foundry came on and said, "Yeah,
slightly better than PS5."
10%.
Yeah. So like instead of 30 frames per second, you'll get 33 frames per second or some shit like that. Yeah. But they're like, yeah, it ain't gonna be able to run GTA 6 at 30 frames at 60 frames per second. So
very doubtful.
And they're putting a lot of work into ray tracing and all of that shit, and I don't know. I don't know the purpose of this thing. I really don't. I mean, am I gonna get one? Yes, I'm a console gamer. I'm a fucking whore. I'm gonna buy it anyways.
Of course.
That's why they're doing it.
Them graphics.
But I just
He's
wanna
like,
see the
why the
fucking
fuck does this thing exist? I'll be in line day one.
Here's my credit card. Why
Because
is this even
money,
in the
that's
store?
why they're
Here you
doing
go.
it.
I gotta do it. I'm running a goddamn. I'm a content creator. I gotta get it for my business. There you go. I'm not gonna
Right
get it
off
for my
as a
business.
business.
Like you, buddy.
Just
That's
business
why.
right off. There you go.
Now, I mean,
Thank God.
if it's I mean, so okay, you're not gonna get everyone who. Like, I understand why they're putting a lot of emphasis on the GPU. It's easier to sell a prettier picture than it is to sell higher frames.
Performance.
I mean, that
Even especially when it's still right.
exactly. Especially,
It's amazing. How does it
Like,
move?
yeah.
What? No, it doesn't fucking.
I
move.
get that too.
12K flies
It's
over the scene of my
unfortunate.
life.
it's like, what frames is that running at? 2, but we don't tell anybody that.
0 actually. Give it a second. It's got.
Yeah.
They think it's a color. They think it's one of those old kinescopes, basically. You know,
Yeah.
Fucking
It's
master.
like a
It's
view,
a style. It's
it
a
runs like a
style.
viewfinder. Back in the day, those little viewfinders, you had to
Yeah.
click it
No,
on the side.
they're called the Viewmaster.
Yeah, the ViewMaster. Yeah.
They'll start releasing like booklets with all their games, just with all the pretty pictures, make them like comic.
You
books.
just
oh my God,
flip
look
it.
all the stuff you got in here. It's amazing. Well, the game sucks, but the book's fucking great. Look at that fucking thing.
Yeah. I mean, to be
Oh,
fair,
shit.
Digital Foundry doesn't really not saying it's going to run GTA 5 or 6 at 4K 60. I'm just saying they really don't know what the performance output of the console is going to be. We have to see what the real world performance is, which is, hopefully it's a bump over what we have now, but there's a lot of people just sitting there doing the math on paper, but as we have seen in the past, the math on paper doesn't necessarily equal real world performance.
Well, here's the math that really doesn't make sense is look how much the PS5 has become now. How much do you think this fucking thing is going to go for?
Too damn much.
600, 700, yeah.
It's at $650 to $700 is the guess right now.
Some people are saying no, but
Unless the
I'm
current
thinking no.
PS5 gets a price cut. The problem is with inflation, everything.
No.
That's why we haven't gotten the price cut yet. Normally, we would have
Exactly.
gotten the price cut by now with the slim, or I'm sorry, the redesigned PS5 that's not called the slim. Normally, we would have gotten a price cut by now.
Yeah, true.
so-
It's true. Yeah. Yeah. The inflation is not helping a damn thing. What was that, Paul?
I forgot what I was going to say.
God damn it.
But
man.
I know some of the sites are saying it shouldn't be more than 550. But I'm like, with the tech they're saying they're adding, there's no way they're going to be able to keep the price point down. There's no way.
Oh, yeah. Did Cozy and then like Wize get hooked up or something? What the fuck? What's going on?
They disappeared.
Yeah, I know. Together. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's
Why I said, hey, I gotta go to the bathroom. Can you hold this for me?
Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
Hey, Cozy, how you doing?
Wise probably had to
Chris.
go check his fish sticks or something. Let it go.
Oh yeah.
you a gay
The
fish.
chicky nuggies are burning.
He's doing the he's doing the
Oh,
whole prostate
man.
exam. That's what it is. Good times.
Gotta feed the children.
Chilling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
drop
it's
the kids off at the pool.
And everybody was hyped
They
up like this.
shaved
You got to be the only one that plays GTA 6 on PS5. It's a PS5 game, PS5 Pro game now. It's like
It's gonna be. Why even play it on Xbox? Is it even gonna be on Xbox at day one?
I don't
What?
know. At this rate, probably not. It's gonna
Because,
be
yeah,
different.
because you know the
Everyone's
Series
different.
X can't. The Series X can't handle it.
This is Series S's fault. It's
Yeah.
gonna come out
That's
and
right.
perform bad
Notes from
everywhere.
my
Series S.
ass. The Series S
Oh
can't
my
handle it.
gosh. There's truth to that. No.
How what, Billy Wonder? Is Supernova how? Like how what? Fucking you need to be a little more descriptive than that, sir.
How?
I don't. So I don't know. Maybe for me,
I guess
like-
she's Native American.
I don't know. When it comes to like resolution and ray tracing, I have to stare hard at a screen to recognize it. So the whole selling point is better ray tracing, and you can upscale your resolution, and maybe they'll get some frame rate on some better games. Because I know what they said with Dragon's Dogma, the issues with the CPU and all the AI that's going on. So if it's the same CPU, not much of a change there, then it's not suddenly going to beef up the performance. Maybe, maybe not, but it's kind of the same thing.
I don't understand the infatuation with ray tracing. Like
Ray
you see a
tracing
lot of
is-
times where they show you here's ray tracing on, here's ray tracing off, here's ray tracing on, here's ray tracing off. It's like it's not that much better. In some cases, I actually
In
prefer
some
the way it
cases.
looks with it off, and it's like
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
the
it's like
ray tracing is so like
non-ray traced
the
and ray
juice
traced,
is
you
not
know,
worth
like,
the
who fucking cares?
squeeze for the amount of performance, the amount of hit the performance is going to take for what? So that shadows look slightly better. So that
Yeah, the shadows look better.
The reflections are ray traced when they could have just used screen space, and I wouldn't fucking know because since ray trace has become a thing, every time someone sees a puddle a reflection in a puddle or glass, they go, "Oh, look at the ray tracing," and then you see it's actually screen spaced, and it's like, see, people can't tell the fucking difference. Why are we wasting all this overhead power for this fucking thing that people can't tell the difference
people
anyway?
like shiny things, okay?
That's exactly.
People
But the
like
screen
shiny
space
things.
reflection is still
Exactly it.
shiny, Cozy.
What it is,
It's the same
they
shit.
need
It's not the
buzzword.
same.
They need a buzzword. Sega kind of started blast processing. We have to have the best ever. And then the 16-bit wars, they gotta have some bullshit catchphrase or thing to throw at people to sell them on it. Ray tracing in 8K. That's Sony's new fucking thing. 8K can do 8K and 8K.
All I want to see is meaningful changes in how we actually experience and play games. And
Here's
instead we get ray tracing.
Use that horsepower instead of making things more reflective or better shadows. Have it do some fucking AI shit. Make your AI smarter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Better environmental, shit.
Destructibility and shit.
Right. Fully destructible environments.
Or the
Yeah.
characters. I mean, they already showed
More enemies.
Well, look, they already showed. If you watch there was an Unreal Engine 5 demo or a demonstration where they were talking and showing how they could program and how much quicker it was, and they were showing how fast they could build things, and they were doing it procedurally, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was procedural generation, and the thought process that popped in my head, and it was like an Uncharted type of game. That's what it looked like. It was in the jungle, and they showed like this temple being built, and they're like, you build it this way, or you can just do this, or you can make the path go this way, or it can change this way, and it just generates on the fly. And I went, what if every time you played the game it was fucking different every fucking time?
Yeah, that's the way Helldivers is.
Yeah, exactly. But make it, and that's cool, but make it to where it's an adventure game like that, where all these, it would be a little harder in certain aspects. There would be certain things that are hard coded, but they would have to spawn in areas, and you would just build it that way. But it'd be kind of crazy to do something like that. That'd be awesome. And everybody
completely randomized the temples or dungeons, like completely randomized.
Everybody playing the game is like, did you get there? What do you mean? I never saw that. No, I go there. No, you go here. You have to figure it out on the fly. That'd be cool. That's a different thing. That's an improvement in my opinion.
Starfield. Don't have to push your child with Starfield.
Sort of.
Kind of, sort of, yeah. I went to the planet, and there's this same dude that said.
Because I honestly still think Returnal is like the most impressive PS5 game.
That's what I've heard someone else say. It's like PS5.
Well,
I
mean, and I don't know what a shaving it was talking about because PS5 doesn't melt USB ports or make.
Maybe better for one melt USB ports.
Well, here's the thing.
USB ports. Is he talking about the
He's talking about the time the USB
port
got the USB port on the back of the PS5 got fucked up at a fighting game tournament, but it's because hundreds of fucking people were plugging in their controllers.
Well.
Our guest for
the
tonight,
Newfiest of Nukems,
Mr. Newf Nukem. How you doing, sir?
Just in time to end the show. Congratulations.
No, we still got plenty of time. Come on now.
Listen, we're almost done with intros.
Yeah, we're almost done with intros. I mean, we gotta get through you and Triple, and we're good, right?
Just get in line.
Boom, boom, boom.
We gotta get you on camera or what? Like, are you gonna be that white circle?
You don't want to see that on camera. No.
I'm having technical difficulties right now. I'm gonna stay off cam. Sorry.
Oh, that's fine.
You're gonna have to deal with the white circle.
Well,
is that
technical difficulties. I mean, at your age, I would definitely recommend lewd. I wouldn't go in dry.
That's pretty much true. Even on camera, I am a white circle, like Paul said.
Correct.
Well, if you're having technical difficulties, let me recommend for your age, I would recommend lube. I would recommend greasing it up because it's a lot easier to go back and forth that way, as opposed to just going.
Spray tan helps.
Yeah, I tried the new lithium batteries, but they leaked in my asshole, so that's okay.
Oh my gosh.
It will only take you.
Now you just keep going and going and going, right?
Yeah, it dries out quick, so keep her.
So what you been doing, Newf? How's your week been going? How's your month been going? And what you been playing?
It's been a kind of crazy month. I've been playing Final Fantasy 16. Been playing. The community game nights.
How many times have you masturbated to Shiva?
Shiva?
Is she in 16? I haven't seen her yet.
He's actually partial to Motaro.
Or are you masturbating to Infant? It's okay. We won't judge.
No, it's all about Tifa, man.
Oh, it's Tifa. Okay.
Yes.
You said 16. You didn't say 7.
That's the
No, I said 16.
Okay, 16.
bro.
Tifa's not in fucking 16.
No, Tifa's
okay.
in Final Fantasy 7.
But you've been
But I'm playing
16.
I'm playing 16. I don't know. I haven't seen any super hot chicks in there yet, so I don't know.
No, well, Infant. Well, if you look at Infant, he has some legs. I might just go.
The legs on that man. You got a lot of fire in your heart. No.
So yeah. So how far are you along in the game?
I don't know, probably 6 hours.
Oh, you're just in
Like,
there for a little bit.
I'm not very far into it. I just started like last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So how are you liking it?
I like it. I think it's pretty cool. The combat is amazing, actually, which is something that I couldn't get into the Final Fantasy games up until 15 because I never did like. I don't like anything that's turn based. You know what I mean? If I want to take turns, I'll play a board game. So you know. So yeah, I like action-oriented RPGs, and 15 kind of got me into the series a little bit, but I didn't really like the atmosphere and the story. But 16 is working really good for me so far.
Yes.
And you see, funny enough that you said that because a lot of people, and it's because of individuals like you that Square Enix chose that modality as an action RPG because up to now, Final Fantasy has always been historically turn-based or semi-turn-based, if you will, but they wanted to reach a broader audience, and I guess it worked for you guys. Then now you're playing their game and everything. So
Well, they made it like Game of Thrones, so it really made it nice.
oh yeah, but the story is very compelling. I like
I like
the
it.
story.
Here,
It was good.
I'll turn on my camera. I'll show you what I got to deal with here right now.
Oh dear.
Oh, bunch of
God.
pussies. Hairy
Supa.
pussies.
They're all hanging
Yeah,
out with me.
Newf Nukem's a pussy magnet.
He's getting more pussy than you are, definitely, Supa. Even though you let the door in, they can just walk in and out.
Well, listen, I'll pay for whatever I want to, sir.
They come in like, this crippled bastard ain't gonna feed us. He walk right the fuck out. So,
Can't even make it to the store.
You can't reach the tuna fish. Fuck them.
Oh my god.
He just
all
puts it in
right.
his lap, banking in his lap again.
So you walked in on us talking about the PS5 Pro. We talked a little bit about the specs, and we're talking about why in the fuck does this console even exist when there's no fucking games coming out this year for it, and the CPU is a modest bump at best, and I'm being generous when I fucking say modest bump. It's only like 10%. And yeah, I mean, we know why they're doing it. It's to get ahead of the curve for GTA 6, but Digital Foundry came out and said, yeah, that motherfucker ain't gonna be going faster than 30. Yeah, that's the best you can get on with those chips. So
it'll be limited for sure.
Right. So what are your thoughts on the alleged PS5 Pro?
Whoever buys it, I hope you enjoy it. I have zero interest in it. I've already spent more than enough money on, a PS5 and a PlayStation VR 2 and, Pulse headset. So I'm kind of done with the hardware right now until the actual next generation starts. These consoles were touted to do a certain amount, right off the get-go. And I still feel like between the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, like we haven't seen a lot of developers actually tap these machines to their fullest yet. So I just feel like this is a dangerous cycle we're in here, and it sends the wrong message to the industry. It kind of says like we care more about just performance than the actual games themselves, where Nintendo has thrived on games that barely ever hit 60 frames a second. And thrives because of exclusivity, because they have games that can't be found in 5 or 6 different places. So, like I said, if Sony wants to play that game, go ahead, but this is not the cell phone market. You know what I mean? I'm not upgrading for modest spec. I'm going to save that money and buy the PS6 when it comes out, or the next Xbox, or whatever it might be. But to me, it's just, I don't care how much clout they're going to put into it. Like you said, if they don't have good launch games and they don't have something that is going to blow my proverbial friggin' underwear straight off of my ass, then I'm not paying.
Wow, that's an upgrade.
Nintendo
Right?
has a lot of 60 frame games without as much.
But you know what? The
without
Xbox
updates and
One,
patches.
the Xbox One X was doing 60 frame
Oh,
games,
that was.
Mhm.
right? That
Yeah.
thing
It had
never
some.
got tapped.
But Nintendo,
yeah.
they strive for that. Like there's few outliers, but they have a lot of 60 frame games.
Oh yeah.
Like all Splatoon has always been 60 frames.
Yeah, but you're talking games that, I mean, predate cell phone graphics. You know, we're not talking about ultra realistic stuff with massive AI algorithms and massively open
And
world.
yet,
Like, you know,
no one
I
wants
mean,
to play
come on,
them.
Nintendo's been 30 odd years and they still got, there's games still don't have dialogue. They got characters that go.
But you know what? You could say
They
anything
sell
about
better
those
than all
bastards,
the
but
other
they
everyone
sell.
else's.
You could say anything
Fair.
about those bastards, but those bastards they sell because they are well-made
That's what
games.
people
They're
want.
they're well-made games, and
Mhm.
again, they're exclusive to the Switch. If they were on anything but the Switch would be dead. Nobody would buy the hardware.
Correct. You're right about that. But then that's Nintendo's claim to fame. I mean, Nintendo has never been just a hardware developer. In fact, I think they also, ever since they left the GameCube generation, they've never chased that title.
And that was
of
smart of
starting.
them.
Yeah. And they said, well, fuck it, we're going to wait and we're going to release this hardware and we're only going to release it when we have games. Like, for example, there's rumors are that they've delayed the Switch 2 till early next year, even though they got an old-ass console right now. But they're willing to live with it because they're like, you know what? When we put this bitch out, we want to make sure that we have games to go for it. So
They want to creep it through the years, see if they could pass the the PlayStation 2, right?
That is true.
But you can't watch things on it, so it won't.
Yeah, well.
That is true.
No, but you bring up an interesting point, Newf. I do want to ask you about this. And everybody else on the panel. Newf, you did say that this is not the cell phone market. So here's the thing, right? So we know that PlayStation, for all intents and purposes, is coming out with a Pro sometime this year. And if they delay it, it would probably be early next year if they do delay it. But the Xbox has famously come on record to say, no, we are not doing a mid-gen refresh. And rather, we are going to release a new variant or the new version of the Xbox, what do we want to call it? Xbox Plus or whatever you want to call it, in 2026. So, and this is for Newf and everybody here. What do you think is a better paradigm? A new console generation every 6 years or a new console generation every 8 years with a mid-gen refresh in between?
Neither.
Dude,
Console is an aging market.
The fact that it's taken most developers 5 years to make one freaking game, I'd say extend the generations as long as you can, because I think it's absolutely atrocious that we're at a point now where you're getting, like, remember the 360 era when you had like 5 Splinter Cell games? We haven't had a single one since the 360. Like that speaks volumes. Like, we used to get 4 and 5 games. Now we're barely getting one per generation.
Maybe one.
So something has to give. And to me personally, I think we're just getting ripped off. We're buying these consoles and you're 5 years in and you're already switching, and we haven't even seen the best that they have to offer because developers have already shifted to the next platform. Like, again, at some point now, like, it's not all about graphics anymore. It's got to be about performance and just, coming up with great ways to play games.
Yeah.
Well,
one of the reasons that they've done that is because they've bloated all of their budgets so terribly. They've built the games to be too big, and so now they take too long to make sequels. And then now the monetization thing is a huge aspect that they're leveraging into every game. So, I mean, that's a big problem. That's what's extending all of these out and why we're not getting them.
I mean, by the time the next 2 console generations are over, Cerebral Paul is going to be getting old age pension.
By the time the next 2 console generations are over, Cerebral Paul.
I'll be dead.
I was going to say, by the time we
he'll
get
be the artist formerly known as Cerebral Paul. Cerebral Paul.
And don't worry, Cerebral, we're going to bury you with your Stanley Cup. Trust me.
By the time the next GTA 7 comes out, I mean, Cozy's going to be an old lady. Good God.
Cozy already an old lady. What are you talking about?
I'm not super young.
She'll have her first gray pubic hair.
I'm not that young. I have plenty of gray hair. See?
Gray pubic hair, though?
I'm like 50. You can't tell in the, like, what you call it, but I'm pretty gray.
Right on.
You're talking about your
hang on to
pubic
my
hair,
useless
right?
on a second.
No comment, but I have pretty gray. I have a lot of gray hair. I even have gray nose hairs.
If you're gray in the hay, something's not right.
I like that. But
Young.
so here's the thing: why I don't get it. The Hiroki Tokoki. I know I'm butchering that name. Whoever the CEO, whatever their name is, he came out and said, "Yeah, we're not selling as many as many PS5s as we did PS4s at the same time frame, if you will. But they're still releasing a PS5 Pro. So, okay, you're not selling enough consoles like you were, but you're still making."
You're going to create one that's going to
They
cost
already
$150 above what you're already selling. It's good.
Right. It doesn't make any fucking sense. That's what I'm saying. You know, it doesn't like
because it's not like they already planned the PS Pro. They were just telling you they didn't plan it. We know they planned these things years out in advance.
Mm-hmm.
What was the ratio of PS4s to PS4 Pros, by the way?
It was mostly PS4s. I don't know what the ratio is, but if I had to guess, probably
It's
80,
definitely
20
mostly.
or worse.
But the thing is, it's like they already had these plans in the bag, so they don't want to scrap them. Just make as much money as possible. Right now, it's like basically, you know, the whole thing with them like cutting their forecast for their sales and stuff like that. They're just trying to get as much as they can. That's what you do. You try to get as much as you can.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like whenever you release a new product, right, the older product becomes cheaper. Like it's the iPhone, it's the phone market, right? Like you release the iPhone 16 and then 15 goes on sale or whatever. So even though it might only go on sale for like $50 less, but because the 16 is like $1,500 and this one is like, I don't know, $1,300, it still looks cheaper. So my thinking is, okay, they're going to release this box. This box is going to be, I bet it's going to hit around $550. I think PlayStation itself is scared of that $600 price point because of the PS3. So it's probably going to be like $550 with disc drive and $499 without disc drive. Because it's
the PS5 Pro.
Yeah.
No,
I'm almost guaranteeing it's going to be fine. Because first of all, it has been confirmed that it is going to have a detachable disc drive like the
I think
Slim.
It's going to be $600 to $650, dude. I don't think it's going to be.
People will buy it at that price. People will buy it $600 to $650.
But then doesn't it make the $400 console look a little bit cheaper? Like if a Karen walks into the mall, yeah, it's like, okay, well, you know, I can buy this thing for $650 for my little Timmy, but little Timmy doesn't have a 4K fucking TV. Let me get this cheaper box for $400. It makes that look a little bit more enticing. Do you think that is their thinking behind it?
Well, let's look at it this way. So I mentioned PS4s. PS4s sold 117.2 million consoles. Take out of that, only 14 million were PS4 Pros.
Well, you know they're not going to sell that. They're not going for parity, right, dude? They're not going
to. But if they're not going to make it to make any kind of money. They're trying to just get good faith and get people. Look, we're the most powerful one on the block, but it's not going to do anything for them, in my opinion. They've already got so many things out there that cost so much. I mean, the PSVR 2. You've got the handheld that just came out, and then they're gonna bring this. Honestly, I think they're flooding the market with too much.
Yeah, I mean, this generation, I mean, I could say across the board, Sony has been just next level when it comes to their hardware stuff. I mean, don't remember any other prior generation with Sony where they have released so much stuff. Like, you know, you guys just
but that's not necessarily a good thing, though, dude.
Yeah. I didn't say it was a good thing. It just seems like they're throwing everything at the wall and hoping something sticks. That's the problem that I'm thinking I'm having. And the one thing that really worked for them is the games, and that's the one thing that they seem to be struggling with for whatever reason. So, yeah,
because they all have to be driven first-person side that simulator, and that takes a while to make, you know.
Yeah. Their games cost a lot. That's the big problem.
They've made the games cost a lot too. They've built, like I said, they've built it up so much that now it's so hard and it's so expensive to make that I think they're also getting scared every time they make something that doesn't sell or perform. They go, "Fuck! How much money we blowing that? God damn it!"
I feel like
that's guaranteed, you know.
And I think the other problem is they have to figure out like a plan for like if they wanted to be like, let's scale back on our game costs. Because they've built that expectation.
But Supa, let me go to you on this because you do side a little bit stronger on Sony's side here. But do you think that they sort of painted themselves in a corner? Like, can Sony make a AA game from their first party from their first party offerings? Because people would, if they like, think about Sony releasing a game like Parappa the Rapper in this generation. Do you? I think we've now sort of become accustomed to expecting these big monumental epics that cost hundreds of millions of dollars to make as the Sony bread and butter. Do you think Sony can pivot and make a game like, say, a Sly Cooper, which I know they didn't make, but Sucker Punch did?
I honestly know a lot of PlayStation guys are like, "Yo, where's our Astrobot game?" That
Yeah,
could easily be a AA game, and people are asking for an Astrobot game, so they absolutely could.
Well, a little bit.
I think it's going to be much harder with certain studios. Like I think Naughty Dog pivoting to a AA, people are going to be like, why? Or like Insomniac or Guerrilla. I think for them, it may be a little bit harder because they are seen as the studios that make these large AAA graphical showcase games. But I mean, isn't that the whole point of these acquisitions and acquiring other smaller studios so you can have AA offerings?
you would think in theory, but then at the same time, as you said, that Sony is somewhat playing the cautious game plus being scared. Like, okay, can we release a game of this caliber? Because this is not something that our fan base is accustomed to, So that's the thing.
The thing is, look, there are many AA games from the third party that are made every year, and they sell on all platforms, including PlayStation. So this
That's
idea
fine.
that it's PlayStation first party, it must be this massive $500 million. I know they're not $500 million, $320 million.
Yeah.
It's like that doesn't have to be the case. Like if they want it, and they can still make big budget AAA games with your Naughty Dog, with your Guerrilla, with your Sony Santa Monica, with like your big 4 or 5 studios. They can still be the big studios, and then the other studios you have that they keep fucking closing, let them make AA offerings, something a little more experimental. And then when you have these a year and a half, 2 years between large releases, guess what? You have your fucking other studios with your AA games. They don't have to sell 20 million copies. Maybe they sell 4. Maybe they sell 3 or 5. But the thing is, the budget was so low. It's an offering for your fan base in between the large games, and maybe it helps supplement the cost of the larger games. Like I don't understand why. Logically, that would seem like that's what they should do. Yeah. Why the fuck they're making the decisions they're making? I have no idea.
I think it had a large part to do with the fact that those AA games that they'd been making were still not selling. They were selling hardly nothing.
I think.
Go ahead. You were saying
No, I was just gonna say if they're missing an audience, then maybe you just gotta go back to the drawing board, just like with any game that doesn't, catch the wave. Like, what did we do and what could we possibly change? And I don't have a list of AA games on PlayStation, but surely they got a number or a catalog of like this would qualify as a AA and how did that sell, and see what's going well in the second party, third party department, and if we can replicate something like that, But
there was a lot of games that they had back in the day that were good. Like for example, Gravity Rush 2 was phenomenal. Both games were good. I mean, like, were they great games? I'm not gonna sit here and say they were great games, but they were good for what they were. Same thing with Parappa the Rapper, Sly Cooper, all of these were decent.
Parappa the Rapper suffers from something that like 5 people care about rhythm games.
I mean,
it was
like 5 people.
It was new.
Like Parappa the Rapper, as great as it is, it would have like fans and what you call a comeback, but at the end of the day, it's a rhythm game.
Well, and you bring it
and
up
they also fucked up because they brought that remaster out and the fucking timing was off and everyone was trying to play it and they're like, fuck.
The fact that they never had a Parappa game for the Vita.
Oh yeah, that was
Parappa for Vita and a Patapon specifically for the Vita were like the most missed opportunities ever.
And see, the bullshit of it all is this: they're not only releasing this console, but they're also in development with a handheld as well, if rumors are to be believed. I mean, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? It's like,
or like Media Molecule's been fucking dicking around with Dreams for like 11 billion years. It's like, dude,
can we talk about Dreams
and make a game, Media Molecule.
Dreams, 2 things Dreams should have had. Number 1, it should have been one of the first games they were like, let's port this to PC.
100%.
Oh,
And
God,
number two, they should have definitely invested in like a VR version.
100%.
Oh, yeah. Most
yeah.
definitely.
Like I was like, how these two things? That game screams like put it on PC and invest in the V, and they would have had a killer VR app with that,
Mhm.
like a
yeah.
killer
Oh, yeah.
But
killer
we're
VR
talking about
experience.
the same company, Cozy,
Ugh.
that when they're trying to think about plates for their fans, they're like, blue, red, black,
And if you
and
make it, we're gonna
purple.
sue
They're
you.
gonna love it, man.
Yeah. Like, let's go ahead and make a God of War controller. Oh, let's just put a fucking logo that nobody knows what the fuck it means
Oh,
in
it's
the
so
middle. That's it. Yeah,
tacky.
that's good enough. That's good enough. That works. Yeah, yeah. Newf, what do you think? Do you think that Sony sort of has painted themselves in a corner as being the publisher that releases the AAA $500 million or whatever, $300 million, yeah, over the shoulder thingamajiggy, and they're now sort of in a situation where they can't release your smaller games that are less cost to make but don't need that many to sell to make a profit?
Sorry, can you just kind of rephrase that?
Yeah, so do you think that Sony has painted themselves in a corner in the sense that they are now known as like when you see PlayStation Studios, you're expecting this magnum opus
AAA.
game type AAA 300
Yeah.
plus million.
To some degree. I mean, obviously, and I think that's largely on the fan base who now expects that every game that they release needs to be a 9 or up, or basically it seems to invalidate the game somehow, which, it's a sad way to act, because we all know that no matter how much effort and how many years of development on games, there's no guaranteed recipe for success. Some things you would think are going to be hits and they don't really do that well. Then you got something like Helldivers, which I know is not Sony made, but it is it's obviously funded or whatever through those guys, and it's seeing quite a bit of success. Perfect example is Days Gone. Phenomenal game that I rarely talk to anyone who's never ever enjoyed Days Gone, but yet it didn't get critical acclaim, and therefore, it was brushed to the side as quickly as they marketed the game. They kind of forgot about it and brushed it off to the side, and and then the fans are kind of like, well, it's good, but it's quickly how they abandon it if it doesn't get the score of 9. But anybody who's played it knows it's a phenomenal game that has all the recipes of success and should get, by all rights, get a sequel, but it probably won't. And I think that studio, did it get shut down?
It didn't get
They're a support studio.
They're a support.
They're working on another new IP, but it's not
Right.
Days Gone 2.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like, it's like it's got to be a AAA 9+ game or bust for those guys, and I think that's kind of a pickle, and fans just got to get used to the fact that sure, you're going to expect your Uncharted and God of Wars to come out and hit relatively high off the hop, but they've also got to realize that if they're going to have any success, and in terms of making enough games to fill their portfolio, they're going to have stuff that's going to take a year and a half or 2 years. Like they're going to have to try things like you see with Foam Stars and stuff like that to find different audiences, and they can't all expect to get great scores. They just need to find, like I said, a solid foundation, build on that, and build some player bases. And right now, if Sony needs anything, they need more multiplayer games to kind of sort of fill those voids, that keep the player bases sticking around while they're waiting for those big AAA games to cook. So they need more stuff like a Helldivers game and things that are going to keep players invested for 4 and 5 months at a time, or perhaps even longer. And they need to get back to bringing big studio games out too that people actually want, like stuff like SOCOM and old franchises that have a huge rapport with at least the older hardcore fan base. But SOCOM would do well today, even if kids didn't play it, because it's a military shooter. Military shooters seem to be all the rage. Like, everybody seems to find at least some semblance of success if they do it at least relatively well.
Well, gaming has historically been an iterative process. Like, for example, when the first Uncharted came out, famously speaking, was not a runaway success, but then they went back to the drawing board and said, okay, let's see what worked, what didn't work. and just enhance what worked and probably diminish what didn't work. And that's when you got Uncharted 2. And then
That's a great point. That's a great point, Wize. But just think about Sony of today versus Sony of the PS3 era, who were a little bit more willing to experiment, and Uncharted being a new franchise. But do you think if Uncharted had to come out today, that same game had to come out probably with newer graphics, like would Uncharted have survived to get a sequel at that point?
Fuck
no, I don't think so. The Sony of today would have shuttered that.
A 7 due to janky controls, and it would have fucking they would have been like, oh, it didn't get a fucking 9. Shit, can the sequel.
You know, close the studio or shut the studio.
Uncharted 2 saved the franchise because they went with it, and then it was a huge success.
But the thing is that, you know, it's almost like a proof of concept. Like Uncharted 1, you can see the foundation for what that was going to be going forward was solid. Same thing with Days Gone. It's like, bro, the foundation is solid as fuck.
It just needed to iterate. It needed to bake some more. They needed to go back and
away what
refix
didn't
it
work. Right.
Yeah.
Maybe it didn't need to be as long as it was. And you fucking sit there and refine it. And then you maybe, for all we know, Days Gone 2 could have been an Uncharted 2 equivalent masterpiece. But we'll never fucking know because PlayStation was like, it doesn't matter that it sold well. It got a 7. That's unacceptable.
If they had made the game shorter, like you said, for Days Gone, and a little bit more focus on narrative as opposed to exploration and too many side missions, I think that game would have been a lot better.
They also fucked up, and it's their own damn fault for giving out code to reviewers that didn't have a day one patch. So the experience for reviewers was far buggier than we had day one. And that's on them. Like, you give reviewers buggy code, they're going to have to talk about the bugs.
Well, you know, I felt that Days Gone did better building that sense of dread than even Last of Us did. And I mean, Last of Us was, okay, you had the clickers, you had the little guys that were screaming or whatever. And there was like, okay, there was one incident of that. Then you had like 4 instances of walking across a bridge and helping Elle cross a river because the bitch can't swim. Anyways, and that was Last of Us. And then you had a couple of clickers, and then that was that one. And then you moved on to another 4 stages of, okay, crossing a bridge or doing that stuff. Whereas Days Gone, when you saw all of those masses and seas of those zombie things coming at you, that was pretty intense. I enjoyed it. I really did. So yeah.
I don't
Cerebral.
like zombie games.
Well, I mean, I think they did a better job than even Last of Us. And I know
excuse
that's
me, Cozy. They're freakers.
Except State of Decay. That's the only one I like.
I was like, what?
Cerebral, what do you think about this? Do you think Sony has sort of painted themselves in a corner here with this AAA initiative that they've gone?
I do, and I also think that they are trying to throw too much stuff out there that, you know, and because they're, like you said, they're throwing shit at the wall. I think they're not saying they're desperate for money, but it sure seems like it because they're, you know, they're throwing, you know, plus, like, I'm sorry, the PSVR 2 was overpriced. It, you know, it shouldn't cost you, you know, the fact that you need to invest in a console even to use the thing. Why do you think they're trying to get it to work on a PC? Because they know they painted themselves in a corner. You know?
Yeah, it's not to go too far into a PSVR thing, but it still just confuses me that they decide to ship it without PC support now.
That was it. That's what I was going to say too. Yeah,
like they're really trying to
have been an
bolster their
issue
console space,
if they actually fucking supported it. It wouldn't be an issue. Like PSVR 1 had more
and
support.
They closed down their VR studio.
That too. The fact that the PS I know they I know the PS1 or the PSVR 1 and PSVR 2 use different technologies, so that's why the back compat wasn't a thing. But you know, regardless of how you try to talk about it, it's like it was still bad because you had a lot of people who had PSVR library.
Honestly, though, Triple, like it's one image for the left eye, one image for the right eye. You mean to tell me you couldn't make that shit work on PSVR 2?
No, they did. The technology is different enough between the way they would have to reprogram everything from the PSVR 1 to do it, and that's a lot of investment in time and resources.
Well, I mean, even if they didn't have backup pattern, which sucks, at least support the hardware. They didn't. They gave us one fucking game.
It's kind of a repeat of the cell processor fiasco. You know.
Yeah. I mean, the technology was good, and it still is very good. Yeah. And for the price, it's for what it does, it's phenomenal. But there is no support whatsoever.
Honestly, if I wanted a regular VR headset, and once they made it like compatible, I would have been like, you know what? I get a PS with the PC. I'm like, I get a PSVR headset.
Right. And, well, I
Unfortunately.
think
Yeah,
that's what they're
but-
hoping for too.
Yeah,
The
because
problem
on
is-
PC for the price, it's going to be one of the best headsets you can get for PC.
My problem is
Right.
I'm just gonna get a
Mhm.
MetaQuest 3 because the MetaQuest 3 supports what I've always wanted, which is mixed reality. I don't really care about
Yeah,
straight VR.
Yeah.
Well, and the problem they have too is when they released it, most all the games that came out for it are things you could get on the Quest or the Quest 2.
Mhm.
Or not
Yeah.
all of them, but
They're just ports.
the majority of them. All right, so
Yeah.
why am I going to pay the same cost for my console when I can pay half of that, get a Quest 2, and play most of the same games?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
there were no gotta have PSVR 2 games at launch.
Well, there's that Call of the Mountain. No, I don't know when
Well,
it came out.
I
but-
mean, it's cool, but I mean, it's not oh god, I gotta
yeah,
have
yeah.
this.
No,
It
and
just
it's a
seems-
beautiful game, but it's just it's really half a game. There's the game, and then there's the fucking climbing, which is like
Right.
fucking annoying.
Hey, but I'll tell you what, your arms get a hell of a workout. I tell you know.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like, I think that, and we're picking on Sony right now, but it's sort of a little bit undue because it's not like the other side of the camp has everything figured out, right? Like,
No,
between the both of them.
but we were talking about Sony, so that's
Yeah,
I mean,
we
I
don't
do
have
understand
we don't have to bring up Xbox when we're talking specifically about PSVR 2 or the issues with their
Yeah.
first party games. Xbox isn't part of that conversation. No need to bring
No.
them up.
No, I'm
Mhm.
not saying that. I'm just saying that it just seems like the industry right now, in general, none of the
It's in
major
flux.
publishers really know what the fuck to go do. Like, it just seems
Except for
like
From
it's
Software.
like everyone is trying to figure out how to monetize this shit to the best of their ability to get more profit, but nobody knows. I mean, nobody like everyone. It seems like, and it doesn't, and it's not just Sony.
Everyone is chasing the Fortnite money, and
Mhm.
no one is fucking being successful at it.
Microsoft needs Viva Pinata.
Microsoft it's ironic.
Microsoft.
Microsoft needs more
Yeah.
AAA games, and PlayStation needs more AA games. And
No, Viva Pinata, I'm telling you, the game sells itself.
well,
I mean, probably, yeah.
okay, if you say so, I'll just take your word for it, And it's yeah. And the funny thing is, and they're seeing what's working. The ironic thing is this: Microsoft has Pal World, and it fucking blew up out of nowhere. PlayStation has Helldivers 2. It blew up out of nowhere. None of these were, formulaic, games that were made to be successful, and they're like came out of left field, and that's usually how it works. I mean, Fortnite came out of left field and blew up. It was
Well-
not supposed to be a battle
No,
royale.
but
It was supposed to be
that was very much a case of right game, right time.
right.
It pivoting towards what PUBG was doing again at the right time, and some games have that in the cards, some games don't. It's a roll the dice for everything. There is no
Mhm.
formula to having a game that's going to be a success, right? Like a lot of the games that we have that are quote unquote successes are really just riding on the fucking name recognition or the popularity of the IP. It's not necessarily because they're amazing games.
Right.
Right.
There's a lot of games that come out every year and they sell well, but they're shit. But the IP is popular. Call of Duty.
Well, even famously, like God of War, the new one, like it was good. It was a good game. It was just more God of War, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But there were like God of War 2018 when I played it, I couldn't put it down. The new God of War, I was easily able to put it down and just do whatever, right? And yeah, it was what it was, and I think it's just like the same stuff.
Part of
over
that
and over
too
again.
is that part of that too is like I was saying regarding some other stuff. I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago, 3
Yeah.
years
Yeah.
ago. So what I spend my time on, even in gaming, may change as well. So I mean, it's not always the game that's different. Sometimes it's you that's different. It's
True. And
Yeah,
plus,
when
I mean,
was a
there's
kid,
just a lot more
I
things out
love
there.
competitive Twitch shooters. Like I spent days and days playing Counter-Strike Source or Battlefield. I think at the time was Battlefield 1. And like all those games like that. But like now I have no desire to play competitive Twitch shooters. I just don't care. But that's all I cared about when I was younger. Like it's just like Paul said, as we grow and our wants and desires out of these games are not what they were 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I've said this over and over again. I mean, it's gotten to the point for me, it's like I've seen the open world done ad nauseum, and I'm sort of like, okay, just give me a good game, give me a good platformer. It doesn't have to be an open fucking world platformer. Just
Right.
give me a good fucking platformer. Give me a good RPG. Don't give me things that are open world with RPG elements. No, give me a good fucking RPG. You know?
Hey, fuck, the
Okay.
Elden Ring says, "Fucking hold my beer, goddammit."
Yeah, I mean, that's all. And for example, Baldur's Gate 3, good fucking RPG, sold well. Super Mario Wonder, good fucking platformer, sold well. I mean, not everything has to be this thing of, I don't know, open world.
But when
this
you're
and
talking
that.
about these big companies, they have to get all the money they can.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I just feel that people are saying that there's not going to be a video game crash. I think they might be mistaken. Might be
Wait,
mistaken
people
because
are saying that there isn't going to be?
they say that there's not there. There was a rumor that there's gonna be a video game crash, but I do think because I think you're getting to a point where like you're getting a singularity of things that everyone is sort of making the same fucking thing.
Also, I think part of the problem, to an extent, is also us, because like we're fucking spoiled. Like when we were kids, a game came out and we were just happy a game came out. Now the game, it can't be too short, but it can't be too long. And it can't be like too involved, but not involved enough. And it can't be too hard, but not too easy. It's like, what the fuck do we want? And they're trying to appease as many people as possible. And that just never works out.
Yeah, true. But I mean, and I still do think if they're making this console, this new PS5 Pro just for prettier graphics, then I think they're reading the room incorrectly. I mean, most gamers I don't think really care. Oh my god,
there's a certain element of gamers that do absolutely.
No, I mean, I think if it's between graphics and how it runs, I think how it runs is more important. Like frames per second is more important.
For maybe the hardcore, for casuals, they don't care about frames per second. They don't know the difference between 30 and 60.
But they don't know anything.
One thing I want to say is how well did Vampire Survivors do in Power Worlds? Like Power Worlds is the prettiest game. Neither is
Vampire Survivors was largely was played by.
Well, what I'm saying is in terms of I have to see the numbers, but how many people care about visuals above all else is what I'm getting at.
I mean, look at the excitement around that Marvel 1943 trailer. Everyone I know that's seen it is like, that looks like it's going to be something interesting, cool, and it's literally just cutscenes. But people looking at the visuals and going, "Wow, I'm excited for that," even though we saw no gameplay. And the other thing is when they're trying to sell us games for the next generation, for the PS6 or whatever the next Xbox is going to be called, it's hard to show us frames per second in these trailers, because the trailers are always 30 anyway for the most part. But it's easy to show us the pretty, right? They can easily sell us the pretty, the beautiful, the graphics as, oh, look, it's next gen. Look how pretty the graphics are. Not, oh, it's next gen, it's 200 frames per second. Most people can't tell on their displays, on their TVs that don't do 120 frames per second for most people.
Exactly.
So it's the graphics that are selling people on, these next generation experiences. And it's just like they slap the higher numbers on the box, even though 8K. What content is 8K? I don't think there's any 8K shows on Netflix. They're all 4K, right? But it's got to be bigger and better.
And a lot of consumers right now don't own any 8K. I mean,
nobody I know has an 8K TV.
No, because the biggest shift was that 4K. Everyone jumped on board with 4K, and people keep their TVs for over a decade. And you're like, until it breaks, nobody really replaces their TV.
Not even that. When it comes to resolution, we are pretty much at the point where most people cannot perceive the difference between 4K and 8K. A lot of people can't tell the difference between 1080p and 4K. The difference between 4K and 8K is going to be even harder to perceive.
It's minuscule.
So you're going to spend $6,000 for a 42-inch TV because it's 8K.
To be able to even resolve
$6,000 for a 42-inch TV, for real?
You're going to have to
for
have
8K.
A TV that's 80. You're going to have an 80-inch TV to see the difference. That's the big problem. So it's not just a thing where it gets better. It's diminishing returns. You have to be to see it is hard now.
But it's hard to explain. But I think it's easier to. Whoever said it was easier to show visual improvement than to actual show this is crazy that we can do this in games.
Right? No, I heard
you can enter every building in an open world game.
Right,
that's crazy.
100%. They can show us gameplay mechanics. I'm just saying they can't really show us the difference in performance like because a lot of people's TVs don't even do like what 60 frames, or is it most do 60,
Everybody
but they
forgets
don't
to
do
turn on
120.
game mode on their TVs.
So I agree. Like showing game mechanics 100%, I would prefer that. But what all these studios go to right away is the graphics.
The
'cause
pretty
it's very
picture.
easy to show us the pretty, the beautiful.
Honestly, a lot of them don't. It's easier to work on graphics than like to make like crazy work on game mechanics. And if you can't have both, you can have one that's
mechanics.
visually more impressive.
Give me
Well,
mechanics.
and as far as graphics go, we're getting pretty close to the uncanny
Right.
valley anyway.
Mhm.
So.
Right. Like that 1943 trailer, that was riding the fucking line. Like there were moments where it was almost photoreal, but there's just something a little bit off. But we're fucking almost there, man.
Give me better game worlds. I saw, which wasn't entirely new because Monster Hunter World had, what's the word I'm looking for? Turf Wars, but somebody shared off.
Like we had this
what-
conversation either a week or two ago, where we were saying, like Cozy was saying, like we don't need necessarily prettier graphics, but make it so we can enter
Better
every building, or
world.
make the
Yeah.
entire
We're talking about Grand Theft
environment
Auto, I think.
destructible, shit like that. Like
You
that's the
see
shit that
enemies
would
off
prefer.
in the distance.
Yeah,
in,
more
Dragon's
enemies
Dogma
that
2 fighting.
Right.
remember
and
what you
doing their
do.
own thing.
But that's where the machine learning that they're going to be doing in upcoming consoles and PCs and stuff, it gets a little more interesting because they can put that towards things like that, AI, destructible environments, things like that.
And hopefully they will. Hopefully they won't use it for dumb stuff.
Well, if you look at that
Pretty
again, that
graphics.
1943 trailer, when they were
No.
talking about it, Amy Henig was talking about using the machine learning just for doing realistic wrinkling and fabrics and shit. Like they can do all kinds of ridiculous shit with the machine learning. It's just how do they implement it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
I don't know. I have no interest in that game. I'm not a Marvel fan.
How dare you?
Well, see, you don't
Sorry.
even if the game is done right, you don't necessarily have to be a Marvel fan.
No, that's me.
Right.
I'm like that. Like if I'm not fan of like what the thing is. Like for example, when I said with Baldur's Gate 3, I'll never play it because I don't really like high fantasy.
Well, that's
See, here's the thing,
different, but
Cozy.
but-
You could be a fan, but you're not allowing yourself to be.
You've got
No, I just don't care about the thing, and I have too many games that that have things I already want
fair
to
enough.
do. So I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever.
All right, so let's go ahead. It is officially 9:00, so let's go ahead and get everyone out of here so they can play Dragon's Dogma 2 or Rise of Ronin or go
That's
watch
the
Play
plan.
Artist.
Be
I've
me.
heard me
Oh,
cussing
still-
periodically
something-
throughout.
Before the
so,
fucking
you
end,
know.
Jesus.
Get
All
ready to
right.
go eat me some pizza and cookies. Yeah.
All
Sounds
right,
good.
Supa, tell us where we can find you, sir.
Yeah,
YouTube
that
at
weekend.
Supernova Gaming, on King Thrasher's channel. Whenever he does the Roundtable podcast, again, that's random as fuck, just like my channel. On Twitter at Yo It's Nova, and then here every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern.
All right, cool. Praxis, tell us where we can find you, sir.
Here every Friday, and yeah, that's about it.
Mhm.
On Twitter at Praxis Darth, and on Xbox at Darth Praxis. If you want to try to find me, good luck. I'll try to be there sometime.
All right, cool.
Uh-oh.
Triple, tell us where we can find you, sir.
Twitter, Twitch, YouTube at Triple Combo Gaming. Whenever I make something, which I don't know when. Yeah.
Okay.
I hear every Friday.
All right. Cerebral, tell us where we can find you, sir.
Who cares? I mean,
I care.
We all
That's the
here.
end of the show.
Although I can't watch your stuff because it's in the middle of the day and I work 6 to 6.
Just
that old
run
guy.
Paul's credits with all the things he does.
all right. So let's see. Okay. So on Mondays and Thursdays, you can find me on 4GQ TV. Mondays for the Pop-Up Powerbomb podcast. Hopefully, Spooky will be back this week. If not, we got issues because WrestleMania is coming up. and I am so stupidly hyped for this WrestleMania. It should be fire. And let's see. And then on Thursdays, of course, for 4GQ TV. On Tuesdays, you can find me on the Xbox Ambassador channel doing gaming differently with Cerebral Paul. This Tuesday, I will be playing the Stalker Trilogy and giving away a copy of the game. So join me there, 12:30 p.m. Pacific, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. And then on Tuesday nights, the Retro Renegades. And then on Wednesdays, I don't do nothing. Thursdays, I do 4GQ TV. Once Carlos stops going to all these shows. And then Fridays, you can find me here, Wasted with Wize.
Appreciate
Saturday, I
it.
can give a fuck.
Wise, is that where you sleep behind you when you're in the doghouse?
You mean the pull? Yeah, basically the pull-out sofa. Ironically enough, called pull-out because that's where my wife got pregnant twice. So there you go.
Nice.
I don't want to think about that.
So your
you so
pull-out
much
game
for
is bad,
sharing.
is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay.
Just like my regular games.
Wait. How can that be bad? I mean, dude, you said you have an innie. How is it hard to pull that out?
It's like playing. It's like the difficulty is about. It's like playing a Souls-like game with my pull-out game. So there you go.
His kids are also 6'3" and black.
Yes. Yeah. Quiet, Omar. Nobody's talking to you. Yeah.
Okay, shh, let him just believe.
Oh, by the way, Supa, do you want to answer this? Until you said yo, it's Nova, and RPG88 said in reply until that handle gets.
I didn't know what he meant by that. Yeah, until they come get me for the third fucking time.
Exactly.
What the fuck did you do?
They let him. Oh my God, he got out again. God damn it.
He keeps posting dick pics on Twitter, and they don't like
Damn.
it. You know, like,
Yeah.
Wow.
And unfortunately nobody can see it, so that's okay. That's why it takes him a while to get banned.
That's why I thought it'd be okay.
When he gets
Like,
that is a dick. Yes, that is a dick.
It's that kind of like that little
Wait a minute,
meme.
that's a penis.
They gotta sit there and do the fucking enhance. I think it's a thumb. Enhance.
All right,
maybe they're
Cozy,
going.
you got the last word.
Maybe they're going. It's not a dick, but the guy posted.
Where
it
can
is,
you
so-
find me at?
No, you got the last word too.
Oh,
Just
Okay.
You gave it to
Yeah,
her.
Well-
Well, crazy
Well,
bastard.
Well,
Luke's
Logan's not here, that's why.
again. Yeah. So.
Go for
Okay.
it, Cozy.
It's all you.
wait. So I do the last word.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Spit some rhymes, spit some verses.
All right, you guys. I understand our need to compare and contrast games. I understand our need to just be like, I'm on this team, so I will talk about that team negatively. Some great games came out at the same time. We've got Rise of Ronin. We've got Dragon Dogma 2.
Derpers.
You're playing one, you're playing the other. Play it and enjoy. If you are playing both, play both and enjoy. No need to say this game is crap because I'm playing that game, or that game is crap because I'm playing that game. I understand.
Now, if you are playing
That-
either game and they are crap, feel free to point that out.
That is true. If you have an earnest opinion about either one and you have
Cozy,
played it,
how am I supposed to validate my life choices if I don't fucking try to bring someone else down?
and that is a problem that we have. We always have to bring. Do we, as gamers, always have to bring another game down when we're talking about the game we love, or can we not just elevate the game that we love?
No, I like things going down on me. That's all I gotta say.
Anyways,
You're not part of this
Anyways.
conversation, damn it, Wise.
Play the game you
Oh.
love. Talk about the game you love. Elevate the game you love. And when another game has come out around the same time, it is not your competition in some person. Don't have a personal vendetta against it. These things happen. Don't play that game if you don't want to, or maybe check it out if you do want to.
It's time to play
Cool.
the game.
That's it.
That's the last.
That's the
Damn
last
it.
word
So-
from Cozy.
learn how to play that.
And as always, I
Where's my
am
water
the
bottle?
wise old gamer, the man who brings the icky and sticky or the fun and dysfunctional, whichever one you want to take. You can find me on Xbox, PlayStation, and
Xbox.
Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Wise old gamer with a Z. You don't have to worry about finding the guy with the S. I think he left. Finally, he realized
He's
how
from
pathetic his life
Alabama and he's
was.
illiterate. Just forgive him.
But yeah, that is our podcast for tonight. So make sure you check us out every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm gonna be here. I'm always here with these ragtag bunch of guys, and we always have somebody else on the butcher block. So yeah, we got some guests coming up in the next couple of weeks. We got Puerto Rock coming in sometime
God.
in April. We got Lord Cognito
Ryan?
coming in.
Oh shit, for real? Oh, snap.
Sometime in April. We got Pixel Bit G coming in, and we got what's the guy's name? Lord Addis coming in.
He's like,
Don't
damn
die. Don't choke.
No, I don't choke. I
don't
got
promise him a good time.
I got a good gag reflex. So.
Uh-oh. All you need is get rid of those teeth. You'll be perfect.
I got a really good one. I mean, it's as well functional as y'all can see. So yeah, sorry. So remember, Shut up.
I got. See, check this out.
I got nuggets baking in the oven. I gotta close this shit up.
Oh
All
no,
right.
not the chicky nuggies.
Dinos.
Oh my god, that's just.
How far I can fit that back?
Oh fucking
Oh,
A, man.
Daddy's burning the
Then
chicken
they wouldn't want to
nuggies.
do this shit. I kind of
This
wonder.
is Kelsey. This is why we don't get sponsored. Okay, it's
No,
just
no. I mean, the best, the best one was a shaving safe. He said, "What is this? I sometimes wonder that my fucking self." That's a comment of the night, guys. That's hilarious. And,
Oh my gosh. Yeah, what
teething
video I was watching?
problem, Cozy.
What?
And bye, buttholes. You too.
RPG8 clearly has never had his dick raped by these before.
I want to thank everyone in the chat. RPG88, FU2, Shaving Ape, and everybody else who showed up. Billy Wonder. Also, I want to thank my guest for tonight, Newf Nukem, for showing up for a few. He had a work obligation, but thank you, sir, for showing up and giving us as much time as you can spare. Loke should be back with us next week. Still prayers and thoughts going out to Game Genie Prime, Mr. Bushido, for a speedy recovery. And he's always going to be on the podcast and on the panel, irrespective. So yes, we are waiting for you, sir. We want to hear more of your edible stories because I know you got some good ones.
I'll ignore that you were on another podcast recently.
Well, he's
Rat bastard.
well. There's a lot going on with that
I'm
whole situation.
teasing. I'm teasing.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. He's he's a
Y'all
good
don't know
friend, and
anything.
we'll be what
Y'all
he is.
don't know anything.
Don't know
Yeah.
shit.
No, none.
That's a wonderful double negative.
Monkeys.
And
See, that's the slur you should have used. Monkeys.
Doom is supposed to be showing up sometime. I don't know when. I was suddenly he always is gone. And Cells, dude, where the fuck are you? Get up. Come on. We're waiting for you.
He was like, "Hey guys, I'm back."
I like
And
your
we're
nervous
"Hey."
giggle.
Yeah, we were like, hey, he's back. She's back. And she's
Like, I'm gone.
What the fuck ever.
and she was probably like, what the fuck is this too? It's just like, yeah, gotta go.
You
gotta
scared her off, man. Every time she
Yeah,
come in
stop
there.
scaring people away.
go. Yeah, you know me, I'm terrifying. Yeah, there you go. You flash somebody your tits once and
Wait, what? And you didn't have to see the show the rest of us?
This is why we
It's
don't
because
get
Paul yelled at
sponsored.
her.
Cozy, stop that shit, right? Don't you dare.
All right, guys.
Don't you dare.
That's our show tonight. Remember, you can be anywhere, but you've not been anywhere until you've first been wasted with Wize. Have a great weekend, everybody. Play your games, not your consoles.
Best of
Stay
luck.
safe.
Survive now.
And